Good morning. Welcome to IMTS 2022. As everybody in the world probably knows, 2 years ago, many things were happening, including IMTS. So this is the first IMTS in 4 years. What is interesting and what everybody may not know is that even before COVID, a number of companies and machine tool companies opted out of the 2020 IMTS. And then COVID hit and IMTS got canceled anyways. But what's going to be interesting is to see who's here and who's not here. Notable big absences I know are people like DMG, Grove, Sandvik that are kind of opted out of this trade show circuit or are running their own private events. But nevertheless, I'm excited. And the first stop for me, because we're trying to pick up the UMC 500, is I want to see what's new at Haas Automation. Haas, if you've never been to IMTS, has always had this sort of great position front row booth. They also have a new UMC 350, which is a 5-axis built on the sort of DT platform. I'm thinking we want a UMC 500, but we'll take a look at that machine. And I decided for this video, I just want to show you guys what IMTS is like through the views of somebody who's looking for fun, who loves machine tools and needs to pick up some machines potentially. We also probably are going to look for some additional turning capacity. That could be another 2-axis lathe, live tool lathe, Swiss machine, a used Willemin, a couple different ways we can go with that. So enjoy. Let's kick off this show here.
Things in turning. So yeah, we have a 28, which has been around for a little while. That's basically just a big bore 25,
okay,
so to speak. The DS30Y, basically what we've done here that we're kind of showing off is we now have full C-axis on the sub spindle. That was a limitation that we had before on previous models, that now you've got a C-axis on the sub. So that enables you to do some simple, probably lighter duty, but milling on the sub, whereas before everything had to be done on the main.
Was that just a software limit though?
No, it was more than a software. It's hardware too. It's basically, instead of using like a gear and a drive motor, we're using the actual spindle motor. Okay. And we, again, talking about commonality, I think that we took basically the drive system off of our smallest lathe, the ST1015, and now that's integrated into the sub. But it's always about fitting it all into a footprint. So this particular one is kind of a reboot for us. So our ST series, the reboot happened a while back, and now we've carried it into the DS, and we were able to package that into the substance.
Got it.
And then over here on the smaller lathe, we've got...
look at the little APL. Oh, yeah. That is adorable. Yeah, that's great. Sorry.
So this little APL is what we call our compact APL. And it's basically designed for 2-inch cube parts, each part weighing less than 3 pounds, or 3 pounds or less. So this is great. Speaking of the DT and the DM, this is a DM1. So we can integrate this to a DT, DM, and hopefully we think even on the UMC line. The 350 HD. Yeah. Because we do require automatic workholding clamping. So we can do that on the TRT 210. We don't have that on the TRT 100. So this would be limited to the 350 HD version.
That's a great point. So the HD offers you either pneumatic or hydraulic through trunnion clamping. Got it. Yeah, that's huge for automation.
Yeah, because it doesn't do you any good to put the part in there if you can't grab it. So yeah, it basically has a dual gripper. It's a pneumatic gripper. You adjust them manually, and you can pick up the part, load it in. We're loading it into an air vise here, and then put it back. And you know, it's not the fastest kind of load-unload, but we're not always after speed. We're after unattended machinery. You know, I mean, you think about the number of times that an operator is interrupted for whatever reason. Maybe he's got a meeting he's got to go to, or he's tending to a problem on another machine. His intention was to get back here 3 minutes later and load another part, but now he's stuck on another machine taking care of the problem, and the thing sits idle for 12 minutes, right? So here at APL, just keeps loading parts.
It's actually something I just realized. We were an early user of the Haas iOS app, and frankly, it sucked. But I believe there's been some really good updates, improvements that make me want to get back on that, because you get really good machine information when you want it.
Yeah, so on this ST15, we're showing off now a BMT 45 turret. Previously, we had BMT 65s on pretty much all of our lathes. And we did not have it on the ST10 or 15 for good reason. It's just too big of a footprint or a platform for this size machine. But here at the show, we're showing off the same concept of BMT, which is nothing new. A lot of people have BMT 45, but now we've integrated into our ST10 and 15. This particular one is the ST15Y, so we can do milling, we can do Y-axis, and of course having the BMT just gives us a lot of flexibility for types of tools, gives us a more rigid setup instead of having a VDI shape.
Oh, huge improvement over the legacy, well, I think legacy VDI.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
So
it looks great. Gotta love Haas for no fault. Gotta give credit to Haas for pulling up the M130 command to show off the tooling that's running in the machine. This time though, we've got some actual cutting. They are putting out new ideas. So I believe this is a VF2 with multiple tables on it, and really hard to argue with how one could find that quite useful. I literally walked next door and ran into Wade. Wade, before everyone gets in, can you guys show us what's going on in Okuma this year for the show?
Awesome. Come on, let me show you a couple of things.
Sweet.
So let's start with the machine that you should know near and dear.
Yes.
Geosim 660.
Yes.
A couple of cool things about this one. Brand new servo auto door designed and built by Okuma America.
Okay.
So very fast, very smooth, easy to retrofit. So you get into automation, must have.
Yep.
We're also showing Big Daishowa's servo boring bar, boring tool.
Yes, auto adjust.
Yes, 3 different boring sizes in one tool.
Yeah. Doing
CG Tech milling with Master Cam, doing some really cool stuff.
And when I was talking to the folks over at Big Daishowa, one of the things they said was how awesome it was to work with the OSP architecture, which is what you need. This is where I don't really like the term Industry 4.0 because I think it's a marketing thing. Right. But let me tell you, this is legit. Closing the loop.
The cool thing that I like about this is it will learn the material. So let's say I'm cutting aluminum and I make an offset and I need to go 3 thou and 1/10 to get a 3 thou adjustment, just for an example. And then I cut titanium. I need to go 3 thou and 4/10 to make
because
that
of that
adjustment.
tool pressure or the sort of insert grind or whatever.
Next time I call up aluminum, it remembers I need to go that extra 10th. Call up titanium, it remembers, oh, I need to go that extra couple of tenths.
That's
Big
cool.
Daishowa has done some amazing stuff on that, and seamless integration to OSP control. Really cool.
You're not allowed to say Big Kaiser either. You get penalized.
Did I just say?
No, you didn't. You didn't, but I did.
Another one.
Okay.
There's 1,000 different robot cells that you can buy right off the street, right?
Yes.
The cool thing about the Standroid, this is an external mounted robot, so it's a third-party robot.
Yes.
So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time and bore you on details on how do you integrate a robot to a machine tool. This is an OEM integration. The neat thing about it, though, is it runs off of our collision avoidance software.
Okay.
So it self-teaches its own path to load the machine.
Okay.
So this is meant for the job shop guy that knows he's got to get into automation. He's got to get into unmanned operation, lights out operation, but he doesn't have a robot programmer on staff. Doesn't have somebody that knows how to integrate a robot or teach points, things of that nature.
Yes.
You set it down, there's a little conversational window where you tell it how you want to pick the parts up, and then this looks at our collision avoidance software and teaches its own path in and out of the machine.
And for folks that don't know, CAS, collision avoidance software, which we actually bought on our MB4000, is kind of like a solid model behind the scenes. I think it actually runs off of Campeak's technology, but it, notwithstanding some crazy circumstance, basically means you can't crash. You know, as long as you've got the good info on like tool holders or end effectors right, it knows how to run safely.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
So if you change a fixture, you put something different in there, as long as it's in the model, the robot picks up on it and it will teach its own path around that and load it.
And so there's no, in this case, Yaskawa, there's no separate pendant for the robot.
Right.
It's all done through
the OSP.
Cool. Cool.
Next cool machine, this is an American debut of the BT1000.
Okay.
Most powerful 1 meter vertical turning machine on the planet. So this is an absolutely amazing machine.
Yeah.
Simple 2-axis turning, right? But it is designed for the hard to machine materials. Titanium, Inconel, wasp alloy, all the nasty stuff. So this is meant for the type of material where tool life lasts for a matter of minutes.
Oh, interesting.
So it's got an ATC on it. So we can do tool changes, and it's meant, actually the customer that bought a lot of these machines goes into a FMS system. So this is actually set up on a large Fastens FMS unit. So there's a large ATC on it, you load 36 tools in it, this is a Capto C8 connection, and it rips massive amounts of material removal rate. There's some chips up on the control you can look at. Due to the floor that we've got at the show facility, this isn't the right environment to take some of these big heavy cuts. We're inviting everybody to come to Charlotte and we'll show you some stuff that will, if you like ripping big material, this machine will scare you.
But explain this to me, because you know we've been through a lot of shops, a lot of job shops, even some factories. You just don't see VTL. So what is a VTL to a layman? Why? I mean, I know it's a vertical lathe,
turning lathe.
But like, I mean, what are these for? Train wheels? Are they for aerospace? What is it? Who uses this?
This machine primarily is going to be used in aerospace type applications because that's where you see more of the hard to machine materials. But your VTLs, the advantage of a VTL is you got gravity working in your favor.
Okay.
So anytime you typically lean towards a VTL is when you're doing chucker type work.
Okay.
You're doing large diameter work that's short.
Okay.
So why would I want to do that horizontally when I can set it vertically? So you use a lot less floor space because you're going vertical.
Oh, that's true. Sure.
And it just chips, gravity, everything works in your favor.
Okay.
So VTLs are really nice. They're also easy to automate.
Yeah, right. We saw some, I think they were, I don't know if they were CNC or manual, but over on the major machine tool over in Indianapolis, an incredible tour. They had some kind of old school VTLs where you're talking 3 or 4 meter, 20, 30 foot radius, which of course, there's no traditional lathe that can rotate that diameter. It just doesn't work. Okay. Actually, you know what's kind of fun? I totally forgot about this, but Wade did us a real solid. He reached out about 4 or 5 months ago and said, hey, could you send us some Saunders Machine Works stuff? We'd love to throw it on one of the horizontals. I kind of just remember that. I hope it's here.
It is.
Awesome.
It's on this machine. We'll get to it when we come around. We're on the ATC side, so I'd really like to show it to you from the front. So another cool machine. This machine is really meant for high volume production. This is a twin spindle horizontal facing lathe.
Yeah. So like a Metalquest when they were.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Metalquest
I'm with you.
Machine. So twin spindles, forward facing. It's got a gantry loader. It's got 2 gantry arms. So the cool thing about this, you have stalker tables left and right, and we have the extended beam in the middle. So we have Marpos gauging, extremely fast.
Yeah.
So everything about this machine is for fast, high volume production.
Got it.
And you can do hot 10 on the first spindle, hot 20 on the second spindle, so you can pick up raw material, drop off finished parts.
Yeah.
You can reverse the flow.
It's good.
Or you can do hot 10, hot 10. This is
I see balancing.
Yeah, you can really be flexible on your manufacturing process. The way we've got it set up for this process, we're doing hot 10. We have a turnover station.
Oh, that's cool. So it flips the part.
So we flip the part.
Yep.
Load it into hot 20. Then we send it over to the gauging station. It measures 3 different features: ID, OD, the thickness of the part. So 100% inspection.
Yeah.
Categorizes all that, does all the SPC tracking, all the serializing on it, and then drops off the finished goods on the outbound stalker table.
So is the Marpos just kind of like tracking that in terms of a go-no-go tolerancing, or is it actually feeding back offsets?
Feeding back offsets.
It is.
To the machine, yeah.
Awesome.
So it'll trend it. So you put a work in process tolerance, you have your actual tolerance, then a work in process tolerance.
Yeah.
It'll trend it, and then once it gets into the work in process tolerance, offset it down.
It's probably the biggest thing I've heard from friends who have started to really grow, especially when it comes to higher or longer runs on turning centers, whether that's light out or even during the day, is your inserts just don't last long enough in some of the materials that eat up inserts. And on your traditional turret lathe, you may not have 4 different pockets for CNMGs, so you've got to figure out a way of knowing that they're bad, and then whether you can tool change it out or quick change it out, or just somehow
tools or quick change tools, things of that nature. Absolutely.
Cool.
Another one, this is one of my favorite machines. I love this machine. This is kind of the big brother to the machine that you recently got.
Oh, the MB80, yeah. I didn't recognize it with this second table, huh?
So this is a 2-meter table.
Yeah.
So it's the very first APC for a 2-meter table for the MB80B.
Okay.
This is a debut for us for this style setup. We've got a die mold part on it, but this is a Cat 50 spindle. So we're showing kind of the best of 2 worlds. We're doing some amazing heavy roughing operations, plus doing some super fine finishing work from a die mold application. Then we're showing some really cool features, doing some laser 3D scanning. So we're doing really fast 3D scanning of the part, seeing how we compared to what was programmed versus what we actually got.
For quality control?
Yeah.
In the machine?
In the machine.
Where's that happening? And this is interesting because it used to be like Wade said, with Cat 50, you had incredible power, but at the cost of RPMs, so you weren't going to be using small tools to surface. It just didn't make sense. But now, looks like they've got a way of doing that. Get an automation solution like this right now, but man, if we could set up a second product and just have it cycle in after hours, it would be sweet. So we just scanned what looked like about a 2-inch wide strip, and you're coming through. Okay, and that's representative of that strip right there. And it's building a cloud point, or what's it?
It's a cloud point.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a cloud point.
And so you're able to establish tolerance bands within that?
Yes.
And it's not able to measure surface finish, just nominal distance?
Yeah. Yeah. The scanner takes per 1 second 38,000 points.
Okay.
So it's very a lot of points.
Sure. Okay.
And now you can, if you don't have some cut model, you can make reverse engineering.
Yes.
So you can generate STL file.
Yeah.
Or we can compare to the cut model, or just give a report, set some points, make best fit for the best value for the part.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a pretty good scanner. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
It's kind of the question of Grimsel and I like to talk about on the podcast, which is if you had $10 million, what would you do differently tomorrow in your shop and in your life? And sort of a different segue to the same kind of question is what's going to happen in machine tools that hasn't happened yet? And are those limitations money or the technology? People talk about automation all the time, but I'll tell you the thing that I would love to see more of is what we're seeing already, which is more ability to take in-process measurements with probing, with scanning, to give you information about tool life condition, part condition as you're going. That is huge.
So I talked to you a little bit earlier about the Standroid.
Yeah.
So it's an external mounted robot. This is the Armroid.
Okay.
So the difference between the two, come around here, you can take a look. Kind of have to get an inside shot.
We're on a lathe right now.
Sorry, this is a Multis B250.
Okay.
So it's a mill turn machine. So this has a Okuma designed and built robot mounted inside near the workhead.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So people say, hey, I'll buy anything you're selling if it'll just come with an operator.
This is the operator. Got it.
So this is an arm that'll reach out, pull the work inside the machine.
Yeah.
So this is doing the lug nut that Richard Childress Racing does for NASCAR. So this is doing the same production work that they're doing on the shop.
Yeah, that's cool.
RCR. The cool thing about doing a robot inside the machine is we can do some value-added process work that you can't do with an externally mounted robot.
Okay.
Inside the machine, there's a drawer cell that opens up. I'm going to cheat a little bit and show you what this is on the inside here. This is a tool station where your gripper arm would be.
Changing out the engine.
Changing out, your end effectors.
Cool.
This is a coolant one.
Okay.
So what's a common complaint that you hear people with automation? Chips build up in hard to reach places. You can program a little coolant one. At the end of the cycle, go in and wash things out.
Yep.
Steady rest support.
Oh.
You're doing shaft work. You get chatter, build up, things like that. Grab this little shaft support, go along with the cut.
That's cool.
So it just gives you some options to have some value-added
features.
Rest,
really?
Following rest.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's cool.
That's some things that you can do with a robot inside the machine that you can't do with an externally mounted robot.
Got it.
And again, this is all self-taught. You don't have a programmer standing here teaching robot points.
That's a big deal.
It's
really
amazing technology.
Yeah.
Our best kept secret that nobody knows enough about.
Grinders.
Yes. Okuma grinders. Yep. We make the best grinder on the market. Prove me wrong. I challenge anybody. Prove me wrong. This is an amazing...
You guys sure do keep it a secret, though.
We do keep it a secret. It's amazing technology. So this is an OD grinder. This is a GA, which means it's an angle head grinder. Okay. So use an angle head grinder to do shoulders, like face work and shoulders and shafts.
Okay.
So the cool technology on this is we're tying in an automation within reach load and go system. So this is an automated cell. Plus it has MARPOS in-process gauging. So the gauge is really controlling your entire grinding process. Plus we have balancing units from MARPOS built onto the system.
That's cool.
So again, really cool technology. You can see the stock mat.
Yeah.
So this is
for your zones.
Wide open. It'll slow down. If I'm in the yellow, I get in the red, it'll stop. So I come back out, just start it back up. Sure. These systems from Automation Within Reach come pre-programmed. Okay. So we can set one on the floor, teach it where the truck position basically is, and be loading parts within about 4 to 5 hours. That's cool. It's really cool stuff. You can move it with a pallet jack.
So am I crazy that would be the type of machine that you could use to grind like cat tape or tooling, or am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
To run along that angle and so forth. Okay. So obviously in situations like that, you know, having the right dress on your wheel, the right measurements are of utmost criticality, especially if you're doing a big flush style spindle where you've got to have the correct taper meeting that interface face as well.
The debut machine, I'm super
wondering we were going to get to
this.
this.
I've been asking for this machine for several years now. The M465AX has been a phenomenal selling machine for us. We've been asking for a 500mm platform for several years now. We wasn't sure if this was going to make it for IMTS, so we actually set the part up on the 6300, MU6300 5-axis machine. We got word that it was coming, so we actually just moved the fixtures from this to here. This is my first chance actually seeing the machine. It didn't make it to Charlotte; it shipped straight to Chicago.
So nothing like seeing this machine for the first time at your biggest trade show of the year.
500mm trunnion, dual supported. It's just a tank of machines. Basically the same base of the machine that you have on the floor with an amazing trunnion on it. One of the cool features that's an upgrade from the 465AX is 60 tool ATC. It's the USA standard. So a bigger tool magazine. We have a little longer tool reach that's available on this machine as well. So some really nice features. One thing that I like about this, we've redesigned the interior of the door. So the windows are recessed and everything is flat. So we have better wipers inside the door than what we had on some of the previous models. So we should have a lot better chip control on this model as well. So really amazing stuff. I got to
give you guys a compliment though. We've got the 660 and the chip wash down and the chip management on that machine is top notch.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. So if you have a 460 or you know the 460, notwithstanding the larger ATC and so forth, it's just a larger capability travel work envelope. Got it. Awesome.
The new debut machine, MA.
Come on.
I love it.
Are you serious?
This is what would go on that pallet.
Stop.
MA 8000H. So
that's ridiculous.
800mm pallet horizontal machines. I love horizontals. I'm a big fan of horizontal. The first CNC mill I ever ran was a horizontal machine center, so my brain thinks horizontally. Actually, I'm going to cut you off, Wade, because when I got to know Wade, he was talking the same story. He started with the horizontal, then I think you went to vertical, and then finally at the very end of the story, you learned how to run a Bridgeport. Exactly. I'm the complete backwards machinist of most people. Right? So this to me speaks volumes, and this is a classic trick. Pun intended. Most people do volume. I like that. A lot of people make these to show the volume that go on the pallet, but they put it on the pallet in the machine, and you see it. And putting it on the floor where you can walk up to it. That's ridiculous. That made my jaw drop, and that's kind of hard to do with one. So amazing machine, FMS ready. It is something that is meant for automation. All the designs that go into it. A few subtle things that people need to know about some of these new designs. Is there any way we can open the door?
I mean, this is ridiculous, Wade.
These are simple things, but this is the stuff that sets some of our designs apart. Look at the ceiling. All flat panels. A lot of times when you look at horizontal machining center, you look at the shower coolant, there'll be piping or there'll be tubing of some sort with the shower coolant coming out of it. Because we use our own machines, our own production, what we find, that's still a linear surface. Chips still collect on it. When you do a pallet change, chips vibrate, they fall down, they get in the cones, they get in places you don't want it. We found put a flat ceiling in there, there's no place for the chips to collect.
I'm with you.
Much more reduced. Single one piece Z-axis covers.
Actually, Wade, if I can stop you. The reason that it matters so much, and I care about this more now that we have the baby brother to this, is that the whole reason these machines work is you've got usually 4 pads that are hidden right here, but they are precision ground tapered surfaces. If you have a 1 thou chip in there, you could be toast because your top angle could be out significantly.
So if you're going to automate a machine, and the beauty of a horizontal is you get automatic automation with, even if you just have the 2 APC, you get some automatic unmanned runtime. But if you get a chip in there, you got a problem.
And if anyone's considering buying just a traditional horizontal with only 2 pallets, call me. I'm going to tell you to go buy the 6 pallet APC.
New 10,000 RPM spindle, over 600 Newton meters of torque, standard. It's an amazing, powerful spindle with much more higher RPM, phenomenal machine.
Thanks for letting us borrow the machine. So this is the one size larger than ours. We have the MV4000, and we have the Okuma 6 pallet pull. This is, so how is this different? A fast sim's different than, I mean, you're selling a competitor's product here in a weird way.
In a way. So Okuma, we build a 6 pallet, 10 or 12 pallet, but it's a single level pallet station. So if I want 12 pallets, my floor space is expanding quite a bit to be able to do that because I'm single level. So we build a 2 pallet system from Japan, from Okuma Corporation Japan. The beauty of the FASTSIM system is we have hundreds of FASTSIM cells in the field. So our distributors know this product extremely well. This is a multi-level system.
There we go. Walk up with me so I can still hear you talking, but I want to show this off.
So this is a multi-level system. This can be a 2, 3, or 4 level system. So I can go anywhere from 12 to 24 pallets on this system, depending on the size of work holding a pallet that you're going to put on. So Paul's in the process. He's going to pull your pallet down so you can see your work holding.
That's cool.
So this interfaces to our machine the way any other FASTSIM's container system would. So we already have clean interfaces, but outside of just being able to get a lot more pallets in a very small amount of real estate is the FASTSIM's MMS control is just an extremely powerful scheduling program.
Got it.
So they do a lot from pallet scheduling, workflow scheduling, tying into ERP systems. So from a production standpoint, there's just a lot of power in this control.
Yeah, that really is a big deal because the way we run ours now is it really matters if you've got certain parts on certain sides of the tombstone that you want to run in a certain order. No joke, how you run scheduling and how easy that interface is to use is for sure important. So this is nothing other than a personal humble brag moment, but again, pretty cool to see the stuff right there on the. And I think our product value is sort of marked down slightly a notch because you're looking at a tombstone here that already has fixture plate holes on it, but this product is significantly more expensive than taking a traditional blank tombstone, adding one of our fixture plates onto it, and then the density of the mod vise. But I'm not here to sales pitch our own thing. I just want to say thank you for letting us show you the product.
We're excited to have your product.
Awesome.
So this is the MB5000H Mark II. Some of the things that I showed on the previous machine, flat ceiling, single one-piece Z-axis covers. The speed on this machine is incredible. So the casting has been redesigned, the Mark II versus the previous generation of Mark I. So our acceleration, deceleration is much faster on this machine. A lot of people, I'm gonna get on my soapbox about people spreadsheeting machines. Most ridiculous thing. I can't stand it. And the reason for that is people will talk about, look at the rapid travel rates on this machine versus this machine. Rapids really don't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. What matters is feature to feature time to get from one feature to the other.
ACTEC.
Most machines, get from this part to this part, there's not enough linear distance for that machine to ever reach full rapid travel. What you're dealing with is your jerk, your acceleration, your deceleration. So that has all been amped up on this machine. This is a much faster machine than the previous generation model.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Okuma is one of the only builders where you're building the machine tools and you're building a control system and the drive components. If you pull off a motor, it says Okuma. It doesn't say...
Open up the electrical cabinet, it's Okuma motors, servos, drives, everything. And being a Southern kid, I grew up around NASCAR, you know, the Association of Stock Car Racing. Look at a NASCAR, there's nothing stock about a NASCAR. And that car is designed and built to be the fastest car possible, and that's the way we feel about our machines. They are designed and tuned to be the best tuned and driven machine possible.
I know Wade just told you that rapids don't matter, but I still have a bragging point, which is 100% comical and in jest, but Grimsby and I were talking, who has a Kern micro, an incredible 5-axis machine that is incredibly fast. Our MB4000 has faster rapids than his micro.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is funny because you think of horizontals, you think of clunky, big dinosaurs. You don't think of fast, nimble machines.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you as always.
Thank you.
We'll be back. We were able to sneak in before the crowds got here. The crowds are here, but we'll come back around and get some good cutting footage.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Take care. Enjoy the show.
Thanks,
If you come to a trade show, make a to-do list ahead of time, or actually, I'll give IMTS credit. The app is pretty good because I find that when you're here, you just can't stay focused because it's just every time you turn a corner, there's something new and exciting, which sure enough, I walked into the Okuma booth and here is the Kern Micro HD. I believe they are focused on doing carbide milling demos here. They even introduced the challenge of bring your own end mill and they will mill it. So they're talking about milling and end mill, which is pretty impressive. And to say the least, these are incredible machines. Oh, look at that surface finish. I don't think that surface finish is coming through, but is that the yes, but the it looks like the new telescope. Is it the web?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the web. That's awesome. That's really cool. And they're using MCV tooling to get that finish?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, one of my favorite things about the Kern, it's such an elegant design. Having that visibility and access to the side door changer and being able to take out, I believe it's an option, but take out single racks of tooling to replace tooling for a job is absolutely wonderful. It's just so logical once you've seen it done this way. And this setup also then includes built-in automation. I know Grimsby has the separate Aroa, and that gives them more tooling here, but here, if your parts are small enough, you can do that. And then, is this one of the end mills that you're milling?
Yes.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Started out about an inch longer side machine.
And you're just machining it down?
Yeah.
And you're machining it with carbide?
With
diamond.
polycrystalline diamond.
Diamond, okay,
Solid
got it.
polycrystalline
Okay.
diamond cooling. It's all from 6C. This is this rack here.
Yes, incredible.
And
At 42,000 RPM?
not quite that high.
Okay,
You
yeah,
have to
the racks are
still have
great.
to
Yeah,
abide by the surface footage of the tool.
okay,
But we could do a little bit of chip thinning calculations to increase it.
yeah. Cool.
Our chips are on the nanometric level, so it's like dust.
Dust. And is it done with no coolant? Dry?
It's just
Air.
Yeah.
There are probably two machines that are kind of on my wish list, but wish list in the sense that I don't know how we're going to get there, but I love them. One of them is a Hermle. Stick around, I'll explain the other one here later in this tour. But let's see if we can find someone at Hermle to give us a demo of what they've got. I know they've got some interesting machines here, and I believe they have the new Heidenhain control system here as well, which should be pretty cool. Oh, here's the new, look at this. 7, that's awesome. Gosh, the machine is incredible. Look at that. And always cool to see Fritz. Although I'll be honest, I really like the blocky guy too, the bear. This is cool too. We'll have to see if Gunther will explain some of this, but I know this is a project they were working on, which is manufacturing pistol slides. And I believe 2-op, but nevertheless automated operation. Pretty cool. Definitely some difficult things to get in there in terms of tight ID features and longer reach type stuff. Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you, Gunther.
Thank you.
Look at this. Look at this. So this is SEP?
This is SEP. This is SEP. This is SEP. We put this together for you, and we wanted to give you this to say thank you for what you do for our industry, educating people, and yeah, very proud about
That's
this.
That's incredible. Look at that. You guys even machine the logo?
Yeah, we put the logo on there. Look at the surface finish of the face
yeah, look
itself.
at that. It's incredible. Oh yeah, up here. So, and this is running on a C250?
This is running on a C250 with a TNC7.
Okay.
And this is actually the first machine in North America with a TNC7.
Yeah.
And the machine arrived Saturday night, 5 p.m. We had to commission it overnight, and we didn't get a chance in Germany to try out the code, so we put it on Sunday morning, hit the button, and since then it's been running.
It's been good so far, so good?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Making good parts. Want to check it out?
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that is interesting about Hermle is this is not their high performance line, it's just the performance line, which is still absolutely incredible machines. Absolutely incredible.
German made, comes out of the same factory.
Incredible, yeah.
And look at the surface finish that you can achieve.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I have to say, I owe you a thank you too. That factory tour, I think you were quite concerned when we finished filming that because you thought, oh my gosh, we've talked for 2 hours, no one's going to watch this video.
Right.
I think we're upwards of 1 million views on that. Yeah, you are now an internet celebrity.
I know. We've had several people yesterday came over, wanted to take a picture with me.
So, I mean, I love it as a C250. You're passionate because it has the new
TNC side.
Yeah. So that replaces the 640.
At 1.1. Yeah.
Actually, we have the chance here to be with a member of the Hermle family. Thank you. Thanks for having us here. Really an incredible operation. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I'm not sure if it came through on the video when we did the tour, but social media and opening up factories is not, I think it's much easier nowadays, and you're seeing it at the trade show, but when we did that tour, it was you had to fight for that.
I remember that one time, the guy that we saw in the lobby,
yes,
from the German company that was there for training, he almost collapsed when he saw you, and that also made us feel good. So there is a large presence in Europe that's following you. Did you see the guy from Bavaria CNC?
Yes.
We sent him one as a thank you for what
he's great. He actually has a Hermle though.
Yeah, I know, he's got a Hermle, he's got a C400, and we sent him one. He didn't know anything about it, we just asked him for the logo, but we also wanted to say thank you to him, what he does, for the community and industry over there.
No, we appreciate it. It's a great sales tactic too, if I'm being honest.
Of course.
So show us the machine.
Marketing,
right?
Yeah. Not sure if you noticed on this one. So instead of having a regular C-axis on there with our systems table, what we've done is we took the C-axis off, the one with the T-slots, and this one has a Lang base plate on there.
Direct Lang.
Interesting. Direct Lang. And you can quick change it within 10 minutes.
Sure.
You take this one off, put a regular C-axis back on. And that's actually the same thing with the gun slides. That's what we're trying to do.
Okay, can you show us? I had snuck in a little bit of video clips before you came over, but this is a really impressive two-op but single setup automated manufacturing.
Correct. So we have up 10 on the one side and up 20 on the other side, and we use a KUKA 6-axis robot actually to flip the part. Let's see. Here you can see the broaching, so we're doing the broaching.
Oh, that's great, bro. So I was mentioning, I'm sure there are some tight inside radiuses, but you're not even machining them, you're broaching them.
We're broaching them.
That's great.
Actually, what triggered this project was pretty much COVID, because
Unintended,
and obviously when COVID hit, we couldn't travel for like 6 weeks. So Matthias and myself were on YouTube watching a lot of videos, and all the planes were grounded, so aerospace was dead for a while, and we didn't know what to do at the time, so we looked into this option, and we figured why not doing it on the 5-axis rather than on the 4-axis horizontal. And so we have 2 matrices now on the C250, and what you're looking at right here is 75 hours of unmanned machine time.
75 hours.
75 hours.
Wow.
You don't need a PhD to run them.
Yeah.
I mean, you still need a qualified person, but at the end, all you got to do is you got to load the material into it.
Yeah.
And then with the hacks, the software that we use to drive the automation, will tell you obviously what needs to be done as far as tools and such, and then you run it 75 hours unmanned. You come back, and this is how the slide comes off.
So obviously this is outside of the machine, but that tray would fit in one of the Hermle automation.
It's an RSO5 single matrix, and we can have 2 of these trays, we call them matrix, sit next to each other, and that gives you 75 hours unmanned machine time. But then also, we're not after the crazy high volume, what we're really after is flexibility, because similar to what I just explained on the 250 over there, you can take this off within, I'd say 15 minutes, put a regular C-axis on there, and then you can put a mold on there.
Yeah.
And it's really the flexibility, so the high mix, low volume, that's where we belong.
It's a great book.
Flexibility built into it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the gun slide.
It's impressive.
Here, I'm actually going to find the other tray. Universal matrix.
Oh, the grid that itself adjusted.
You can adjust it, and then within the software that we have, you just tell how many parts you got in X, how many parts you got in Y, and then the software automatically adjusts the pick and place program.
Does the new TNC 7 change how automation integrates?
It will probably at one point. Okay. But obviously the software that we use to drive the automation, it's a Hermle product, it's called Hex. So, but it will look different on the TNC 7 because you'll have it on the one screen rather than having.
That's what I was saying. Okay, because traditionally you have a separate automation computer effectively, and this is a C22.
It's a C22. But the exact same robot can be attached to a C250. That's why I said over there, that's the C250 setup, a single matrix rather than having a, call it this Cardex type of system. You have one big tray, and again, 75 hours of unmanned machine time.
Yeah, it's impressive. the RS1, RS2, the HS Flex. Hermle has some really impressive large automation. Yeah, this is just incredible. Switching out end effectors, switching out chucks, switching out tooling, switching out large parts, switching out chucks. I mean, just incredible.
So this one, the way it's configured, it's got an MC vise.
Yeah.
You can see, so it can handle different raw material sizes. Then we also have the Lang, I call it the Lang interface in here. So when you come on this side, there's one tray right here.
I wish I could grab
Okay.
It's got the Lang vices on there.
On the 2.08? Oh, I see. I can't see it from here. Hold on.
203.
Got it. Yep.
And 208 is the Lang chuck.
Yep.
Chuck, so it just puts the Lang chuck in there, changes the gripper, which is set right here at 215. And then instead of moving pallets or parts, we move the Lang chucks or vices.
I like, Gunther, that even though you've been doing this for how long? 22
years.
You're still excited about it.
Of course, I love it.
You know, you really are, though. It's great. It's really exciting.
To me, this is more like a passion.
Yeah.
Raw material, there's a double gripper up there, so you can actually flip them.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, something I hadn't thought of before. The robot is so much faster than your traditional load station for pulling pallets up to the load cell. That's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
If you have 30 pallets and you need to swap them all out, that could take all day.
And what I like the most about it is, you know, obviously during the day you're probably going to have to try out some new code that you're going to run it overnight. You close this door, this remains fully functional. So then you can actually get the pallets out, you know, put new stuff, new material in, and back to business.
I'm sure the safety interlocks are all set up correctly, because otherwise this is how you die. You lose in a battle with that robot. But you want to step in here and show us the Lang?
Yes. So here's the Lang vices. Lang vices in here. You can do the same thing with the robot, so you can have one pallet full of ITS. You can have one pallet.
Hold on, that's fake then, because you would need those actually clamped. You're swapping out the whole thing, not the individual Lang vices.
What we're doing is this goes onto the what we call a staging table.
Oh.
Right over there. And then we put there's a Lang interface gripper in here.
And you are pulling up one at a time.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. It's automation within automation.
Correct, automation within automation. And we can do the same with the robot interface. So you can have a pallet full of ITS pallets. You can have a pallet full of PC210. Really flexibility. That's what's key. This is the actual base chuck of the.
Okay, so that goes in, then that receives.
Yes,
so yeah, right. So this goes.
This goes in first.
Up there, like, well, obviously like that. That's cool.
So as soon as you tell the robot, hey, I want to work off this, the robot then knows this needs to go into the machine, and then change the gripper and starts loading these little Lang vices.
It was one of the coolest moments in my history of doing these YouTube videos. Go watch the Hermle tour, and I hope I'm just saying this correctly, but they had a machine set up there, and Gunther can correct me, but it was tied in with an ERP system. So if somebody placed an order, the machine could adjust the scheduling, change out the work holding, load the material, and make the part. Is that correct?
True statement. And it's not
incredible.
Possible. With all the actually systems that we make, also with Hex with the center pallet shelves, we can do the same. You can tie in your ERP system, you can generate a job and adjust it on the fly.
That's incredible. They still let you run machines?
Kinda.
Gunther was recently promoted. You are now the CEO, president of Hermle USA. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. So these are the inserts, but look at the finish of the mold.
This is right off the machine.
Then we move to CX.
Look at that. Actually a good example of like actually using the machine. Here we go. Yeah, that's incredible.
This cover was
oh my god, it feels perfect. Yeah, that won't come through on video, but I mean that is, it feels polished.
Yeah. Wow. All the blends.
That's incredible.
So scaled up version of the HS Flex that you've seen, and one thing I really like and love about the system is you got these, I call them saloon doors.
Yeah.
But during the day, you set up stuff, you try out code, but this remains fully functional, like we just saw on the RS1. So you can load and unload and do all that.
Yeah. Impressive. That's incredible. Guess in the comments below what the cycle time is, and we'll ask Gunther now. Cycle time on full-size set.
On this one, around 30 hours.
30 hours. Impressive. And you got a Wisconsin brewery?
We got a Wisconsin brew. So obviously when people think of Germany in the first place, they think of beer and the Autobahn. Us being a Milwaukee-based company, Milwaukee, the brewing capital of the United States. So we found a brewery actually that brewed an Oktoberfest style beer for us. We partnered actually together with Hermle, helped us with the tools and the holders.
and then we put this together.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
really cool.
We also have our own stein made.
We're gonna come back
awesome.
later on for a glass.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
And a beer.
Yeah, done. Very cool. I mean, things that the surface finish is incredible, but then look at this is incredible. You guys actually have a YouTube video showing a larger stein being machined, but reaching in the gauge length and extension on that is...
It's actually this size. This size with the stainless steel version of it.
That's impressive.
And it was really cool.
God, the finish is incredible. Oh, okay, so this is the Imugi.
Check out the finishes.
That's incredible.
So the thing is now you have to talk.
So I mentioned Hermle as a machine one day I'd love to have. The other one is right here, Willemin Macodel. There's been this talk about a used machine. We'll see, come back to that later, but absolutely amazing. For some of the parts that we make, we don't need a lot of turning. We need some turning, but we do a lot of milling. Having that ability to do proper milling at high RPMs with a true milling spindle is incredible. But Jim, you willing to give us a walk around here?
Yeah.
Show us what we got?
Yeah, sure. 508 MT, 5-axis mill turn, bar fed, pretty good size capacity. Between 42 and 65 millimeter, kind of how you order it.
Okay, so 42, so 2 to 3
Yeah,
inch.
42 millimeters, like 1.5 inches. Okay. And then 65 is like tall boy beer can. It's like,
Yeah, sure.
72 tools, milling, turning, HSK E40.
Okay.
42,000 RPM milling.
42,000. I mean, that's incredible. Yeah.
And I can pick off with a vise or a sub spindle.
Yep.
Do the part complete, drop it down the chute, and keep going. Bar fed milling is. When I was a customer originally, I was a Swiss turn guy, and I was like, I need to make these mill parts like I want to make them.
Yes.
Because I hate fixtures and all that. We're making a little vise here, so I'm using
look at that.
The sub spindle to pick off the round part.
Yep.
And then the vise to pick off the jaws.
Yeah. Yeah, having that proper milling spindle is incredible. Having a tool changer is incredible. And I don't know that much about Swiss lathes, but I'm guessing the milling performance out of a 42,000 RPM spindle is going to be way better than driven tooling on the Swiss.
Yeah, because you got gears, so you get axial chatter.
Sure.
They're limited, probably 8,000 max, some 4,500. It's just different. You got a guide bushing fit. Yeah. And so, I was milling at 7 inches a minute on a Swiss because that's all I could pull off. And a gear, it's like you start at 20 and go from there.
Yeah.
So it's just different.
So let's take a look at this. So that's what's different. If you've seen B-axis or mill turn type machines, they're often larger, but otherwise similar in the sense that you have a 5-axis B head. What's different is instead of having a sub spindle, you have this chuck that's right there, and it hopefully we see it at some point, tip up and hold the part and stabilize it right there, or tip it down and do more work in that op2 position. Is that a fair summary?
Exactly. I could tip it down.
Look at this. Look at this.
In the upright. I think we're going to lay a finished face. I got to refill it.
So I see what looks like a small spindle or a small tool probe there.
Yeah, it's a Bloom Z Nano.
Okay.
I have another tool brake check inside the magazine, so I can do brake checks in overlap time. OMP 400 probe, 400 probe.
What is the wire I see right down?
So that's a cutoff detect, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, sure.
A little safety, again, for unattended machining.
It's one of the other really cool features about these machines is instead of having to part something off, you can take a saw, tip the B over and saw a part off.
And I'm breaking these off.
No
way. So I use a cutoff blade to take it down to a little less than 200 thou, maybe about a 4 millimeter stock. I grab it with the vise and just rotate the axis and snap it off.
That's amazing.
And I learned it the hard way because saws don't like a wide fat cut. Yeah. So I was always pre-cutting with a cutoff blade, but one time I grabbed it with the vise and I had an A180 in there that I didn't notice in the code. And it spun around and broke off, and I'm done with saws.
There we go.
Never again.
Oh, that's amazing. So yeah, bar fed. So you generally work with round bar. I suppose you could get square college or hex material.
Okay. We've done flat bar stock. L&S makes a really cool bar loader with a plunger that holds it flat.
No kidding.
During bar change.
Interesting.
So it brings the bar up for pre-feed. Pneumatic plunger flattens the bar, and then you have the collet oriented.
I didn't realize that. Oh, there we go. We missed the B tip, but I mean, these machines are just lightning fast.
Here we go, tool change. You can feel the shake of the floor.
Oh, yeah.
The floors here are dreadful. Yeah. There's a low level.
Okay, so obviously that's the vise body that we're looking at there.
I'm running a body, a screw, and a vise jaw back to back to back.
Okay.
Same setup.
There we go, look at that.
Little thread milling. Ooh, while drilling.
I mean, so tight clearances for sure. What is the coil? Is that just tubing around
The coil's for the high pressure coolant because the drawbar moves a little bit.
Oh, interesting. It gives you some flex.
For through coolant. It kind of takes a lot of basically.
Yeah, sure. I just love this idea because
that vertical groove in the back of the vise.
Oh, look at that.
I got to sneak in there and
look at that. That is a lot of extension on that end mill.
Yeah, that's a really tough cut to get at.
There's thread milling. But if you think about programming parts, I just like this looks so refreshing. The thought of how you would sit down and program this versus a Swiss lathe. Like this to me just makes so much sense.
It's easy to program. We spend a lot of time on our end of the software.
Yeah.
To try to make positioning the tool easier and safer. So, and when you call up the tool, it's a nice clean approach. You don't have to worry about clipping anything.
Yeah, your gauge length is probably a bit limited on stick out here.
Yeah, 130.
Okay. 130 millimeter. Wow.
Yeah, millimeters.
Okay.
From the flange on HSK.
Yep. Oh, that's incredible. Just surfacing in a chamfer here?
Yeah, putting the radius on the edge of the
I like that.
Drum.
Yeah.
Just let it go. It's a medical thing where you do a lot. You know, my background's implants. So
okay.
Put a radius on everything you can.
Yeah. One and done though. I mean, having all that control in the machine. We started thinking about how we would tool one of these up, and it's funny how few tools we realized we needed because a 3/16 end mill can do axial, radial, deburring, chamfering, interpolating. It's incredible.
Yeah, like on that one, I'm using a 3/16 full nose to do like on plates. You have a spherical pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm just using the corner of the bowl.
Yeah, a helical drilling.
Instead of having to get a lollipop cutter.
I don't want to miss the pick.
All right, now we're engraving. This is a little bit of time.
Oh yeah.
Putting the tattoos on.
Can you option stop it or will it not?
Yeah. Oh, you want to look in there?
Oh no, I want to just see. I want to catch the pick on film.
Okay.
I mean, I know cute is not really the right word to use on speaking on a machine tool, but I'm going to say it anyways. It is cute. I mean, so compact, and then here you can see you've got some dedicated turning tools, a parting tool. Really very cool. Just beautiful. PX tool. So engravers that come, highly recommended. Thank you.
Well, it can, like anything else. It doesn't know if it's machining itself.
Just incredible.
Like that,
oh, looks like it might be doing some boring. Sorry. There we go. Oh, blows it off. I like it. Yeah, really impressive. How many tools?
This is 72.
72 tools. Look at that. HSK E40. So the turning tools have the drive dog on them so that they can orient or be held rather when they're...
It maintains their location in the magazine and the tool change arm coming from the spindle.
Yeah. It was the other machine that had the part off detect wand.
Yeah.
Okay. So that what is the probe? What is the wand that I'm seeing there that has
That's a Boom Z Nano for tool measuring.
It is. Okay. Yeah. Not just break the actually set gauge length.
Yeah, gauge length, and then on turning tool length, center right and Y.
That's incredible. That's great.
I'm gonna measure one for you.
Yeah. And while that main is working, the new feature here is they have a spindle on the second op. It looks like it's going to do a brake detect there. Yeah. Oh, I missed the tool change down there. That is awesome. Oh, that's really cool.
You can see it from the end. You see it the tool brake check.
Okay, when this is done, watch down there on your screen.
Tool brake check. Close it off. And magazine comes out.
Not parting off. Okay, pre-cut. Here comes the vise.
Nice. It breaks it off. Grab. And then farther, it pulls out the next part.
Yep.
And then snaps it off.
Insert it. Yeah. And then it's going to pivot that vise down, all the way down, and then that's great.
It's going to start the next one, but I was going to measure it.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to show off how the tool measurement works. Look at that little dance. Yeah. Put it away. So are we going to do a turning tool?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Boy, that looks so fragile. Seeing that.
It's a carbide arm on there too.
The whole thing is carbide?
The arm and the cube.
Yeah. Is it monolithic or is the cube pressed on?
I'm not too sure.
Look at that.
So, length.
Yeah.
Z offset.
That's great.
And then center height.
Yeah. That is the bee's knees.
Yeah, once I started doing that, I didn't want to go back to Swiss ever again.
Correct. I never wanted to start with Swiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. So this is good from the front view, and then I'll go back over so we see the other view. It's actually a pretty good sized drill. Looks like the part that they are making, again, totally done, and one up is that. That's awesome. Look at that. I was looking at the larger thing, but you're talking about that.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm hanging out in the Willemin booth, and CJ,
Hey.
congratulations, you just got your
Second 408 MT.
How's it going?
Really awesome. I run both machines, lights out 24/7 now.
And you're probably one of the best examples I know right now of a true solopreneur who's doing it on his own. 2 machines with 0 employees.
Right, yeah.
Which
So,
is not always
it's-
stress-free, but
It's pretty tough. I need to grow the business bigger than me,
Yeah.
but right now it's working.
that's awesome. Congratulations, seriously.
Thank you.
It's really good. Other than, is Instagram the best way to see the stuff you're putting out there?
Yeah, I don't post so much on Instagram anymore.
Yeah.
But if people are interested in what I'm doing, I might.
Okay. Yeah, no, they are.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak for the internet when I
Yeah.
say
Now,
they
I can't
are.
always post the parts that I'm making, but I can definitely post the process. Yeah.
But, I mean, the work that CJ has done on that first Willemin, making the style of parts that he's making are incredibly small, incredibly tight, true position tolerances, nominal tolerances,
Yeah.
really dialed.
A lot of stuff that I'm doing, I do a lot of in-process probing. I have graphs so you can see everything I'm doing is plus or minus 5 microns. No problem.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You do know I tend to rag on people if they come to trade shows and talk about holding tolerances all day long, but you've got the
They
data
don't
to
have
prove it.
graphs to show it,
You have
yeah.
data to prove it. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
And like it's pretty typical that I'm holding 1 thou profiles on parts. I have a new part that I'm doing half thou profiles on.
Yeah.
That's the true spec. And it's the same thing, plus or minus 5 microns over the whole run over a week.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Do you know how many hours how old is your first Willemin and how many hours it has on it?
So I have to look. I think it's around 6,000 or 7,000 hours right now, and I've had it for 2 years.
That's
So,
incredible.
I'm not running it like full blown 24/7.
Yeah, but still.
But it's like I'll set up a new part and it'll run for 2 weeks when I make 2,500 parts, and then I'll kind of set it up slowly for the next one because it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, they're just such incredible. They're so solid.
Yeah.
Everything about them.
Okay, so we had like super private, confidential conversations with Willemin, trying to figure out if this deal actually makes sense for that used machine. Ran into CJ. CJ said this is the bar feeder you need to have, which is the one you have.
Yes, these are on both of my 408 MTs.
Okay, so who is this bar feeder? What makes it interesting?
So this is the Anca Boss 338 HD. What's interesting is that when they install these, it is fixed on center, and to change the bar sizes, you change the collet and the bushing blocks that go in here. So the bar feeder is always fixed, never moves. And then the bar is stabilized through oil that's constantly flowing through this guide bushing.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
So like bar feeder basics, we have a Haas bar feeder. If you change the diameter of your bar, your center line changes because a 4-inch bar, you have to lower the whole assembly so the bottom of your trough is lower so that the center line is on center. This doesn't do that.
Right, yeah, it's just a hydrostatic bearing through the oil.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Cool. And you've been happy with yours? You've been happy with yours?
Oh, I'm super happy. Yeah, I've actually never had a bar failure ever.
Did you consider a 12-foot or you just don't have room?
I don't have room.
Yeah.
Certainly, but I don't think I'd really want to go over 12 foot anyway, because when I'm handling 6-foot bars in my shop, I don't need equipment to do that, right? I can just carry it around, forklift it, whatever.
But people buy 12 foot because that's the industry. Like that's how they come to the mill. Is that
Well, I can request to have them chopped before they deliver.
But so technically, you pay a little more for 6 footers than if you had full sticks.
It's possible, but usually for me, it's a pre-service.
I am guessing if you watch our videos, you have heard of Pocket NC, the folks that make the small 5-axis machine. They are now Penta Machine, and this is one of the most exciting machines for us to find and see finally in person at IMTS. Are you guys excited?
We are very excited.
You made it?
We made it. We finally get to unveil the Solo, and there's been a lot of buzz about it. A lot of people asking about it.
Which is awesome.
And it's funny, we were trying to drive people here to ITMS to see the Solo because this is where we wanted to do it.
Sure.
We wanted to unveil it for everybody. So,
awesome.
So we did it here, and it's you just see like people trying to crowd around it. And the thing is, our machines, they're always so compact and so small that it gets crowded around and people can't see it. So like half of my job is getting people around to see it.
You should put a people mover in, so you only have so much time to spend in front of the machine tool. Well, let's see if we can sneak in there when when a window opens up. But really cool, kind of the American Dream story. I think Matt and his wife started the company and really made it happen. Everyone kind of knows the original one right here, which is cool to see.
What's going to be the lead times? Once you go production, do you have any idea?
It depends on how many we sell. It's going to be a small batch, so we say it's not too long. Some of the components just have to fall. Sorry, what are you guys doing?
So we're actually starting a new business. We are requesting a school next to be and they're really small. That's why we're still finding out. What's it called? What's
They actually have a great web simulator as well, which anybody, I believe, can access. Oh, the door. Dude,
we're working on everything.
Such a nice
so much
touch.
is changing on the beta machines. But
Start with the specs. RPM, tool changer.
Yeah, okay, so currently the RPM on this machine is 36,000. We're actually going to go to market with an 18,000 RPM spindle because we want people who want to use 110 power to be able to use it and be under like 2,000 watts without, so anyway. Then the tool changer is just a 13 tool right now. It has 14. What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it has 14 slots. One's for the tool for the Pro, which will ship with the machine, but we've got a little way to go on development.
Yep.
And we're hoping to actually be with a 21 tool changer.
Oh wow! Okay, great.
Yeah, and then the working envelope is 150 millimeter cube, 6 inches. This is a little bit big. You can see this. It's a little bigger. And then they're all going to ship with a Vero S module, the Mini 90.
Okay, the shunt product.
The shunt product.
Yeah,
and that's just so like people can be doing 0-point clamping without having to put that on top of there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Eagle Z-height stack.
It's just design around it, use it. And then the rapids of the machine are about 600 inches of it.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's not bad, and the rotors are a little slower. They're 90 degrees per second.
So if you obviously you have a Christmas tree style or multi-axe part here, but if you had a traditional single workpiece, something like the size of a baseball is reasonable to machine?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what this is right here, but this is like 8 to 9 inches somewhere in there, and obviously it's like over the tool changer and that's a demo. Right?
That's what you always do is you push the machine to the limit. No, sure.
But and then the tools are HSK E25, which is nice because they're great for the high-speed machining and little tiny intricate things. But there's a lot of people coming out with great tools with them too. Like Big Kaiser has different face mills, and then you've got Shunk, who's got a bunch of really high-end compression type tool holders, and then also Big Kaiser has high-speed boring heads for them, and then just little tiny baby stuff. But
so we would love to end up with one of these because we really miss having a really small 5-axis machine that you can almost use as an R&D machine, a tool room machine, very capable, but also not something that takes up, $250,000 of capital and a huge amount of real estate. Am I your customer, or who are you? What's your dream scenario for who owns and uses these machines?
It's anybody who wants to make a product and bring it to market.
Yeah.
Right. And that might be somebody in a research lab, and that might be somebody in even a university setting.
Sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
But then there's machine shops. We're trying to design this one for everyone. Is what I'm saying. But even people in machine shops who want to make something and get people involved, but then take over and go into full-on production. Because eventually we'll have a robot set up for the side of the machine, so people can do that.
Yep.
And,
sure, with the 0-point system, I guess that's...
Yeah, the automatic door, it was the tool changer. The goal is to be able to have automation already ready to go, so that when somebody wants to do a robot, they're set up.
As it sits right now, the shunt system, though, is manually activated? Or is it? It's automatic?
Yeah.
Impressive. So you have is it air or oil through the trunnion?
Yeah, it's got 5 ports right now, so it's got
Oh, yeah, look at that! Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, you've got one in the center for taper purge.
Yep.
So that's why you see this kind of bounce around. Anyway, and then
Sorry.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 extras right here for if somebody wants to run an automatic vise.
Okay.
Or have a pallet that needs air to it.
Yep.
And then there's also so there's one for the unclamp of the Vero S, and then there's also one for increased clamping.
Okay.
I don't know why you'd want that, except for in a very few manual operations. But yeah.
I'm not sure Matt's going to allow me to tell it this way, so anyways, which is that we've been talking over the phone for some time, and you're the example of a guy who realized, I don't necessarily want to run the business, I want to do what I love and I do. So you are the CTO, and you have relegated a lot of the business stuff to someone else, who may or may not be your significant other.
Yeah, so Michelle over here. Yeah.
But seriously, as a fellow entrepreneur, this is something I think about a lot, because it's also no small feat. I mean, if it weren't your spouse, it would be, I think, difficult to find somebody, to hire somebody, onboard them, and trust them. You're in Montana, so it's not like you're sitting in a pool of CEO candidates at the risk of not knowing.
Bozeman is a little bit of an anomaly, but the statement stands, right?
Yeah.
Finding somebody you trust with your money, and with your, every asset you have, machines, your time.
Yes. Awesome.
So, yes.
Well, thanks for showing the machine. Best of luck. I'd love to become part of this story at some point as well, but seriously, thank you.
Hey,
I'll shake my hand. I don't care. Hey,
do you want to brag?
No, never. Nonsense. Awesome.
See you, John.
Folks, more to come on this. Seriously, super cool.
So we're making, do you have one of these handy? So we're making parts. We're making chips.
Mate, you're cutting aluminum, which is great.
Yeah.
I love seeing the hobby world not cutting plastics. I mean, that to me is the whole question, and we've had this conversation before. I want a machine that can actually be useful for what we're trying to do. An artist, a makerspace, a student, an R&D lab. It's got to cut material.
It's interesting though, we kind of have 2 customers. One is the sort of the entry-level educational professors or people who are running makerspaces. They see this and they're like, it's the right size, great. But then there's engineers, so we also sell to SpaceX and Tesla, who are just impatient. So our other folks are impatient engineers.
Sure.
Who are like, okay, I don't want to wait.
It's a tool.
I want to get it going on. So we've got a fun thing here where we don't have a tool changer.
Okay.
Right? So it's a ER11, call it. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do multiple operations, you have to change it out, or you need to get multiple machines. So we're running 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch,
That's awesome.
and then
That's
a chamfer bit to do both the chamfers and the engraving.
Sure.
And so mixing it up.
Cool. I like the element of this, and this is a story. Bree might know this, but he wouldn't know it, that the first time I met him was at NYC Resistor when they were working on some of the early 3D printer prototypes, and there was a story about them using it on an Amtrak train. And I love this idea that this is a machine that you can throw in the backseat of your car, right?
Yeah, we made it to fit in a Pelican case.
That's serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's literally, that was one of the specs.
Yeah.
Must fit in a Pelican case.
I love it.
And we can ship it in a Pelican case. If you buy a Pelican case, we'll ship it in a Pelican
exactly. Makes totally
which is
sense.
what everybody should do.
Right. Yeah.
And so it can go anywhere.
Although compliments, the machine that we have was shipped incredibly well. Like, there's a lot to be said for proper packaging on that. Maybe some headaches, I'm getting the sense.
We've actually had good luck so far. I mean, usually we put all the stickers on them and they always come back tumbled and abused, but we make sure they get there.
Cool. For folks that want to learn more about this machine and you guys, best place to go is?
Go to bantamtools.com. Launching today at $3,999, and then we up the price of the desktop to $6,499 because everything's just going up these days.
So we have crossed over to the other hallway and we're here at Anca. Normally not my world, but Anca has been really a big supporter of the community, and Alfred Lyon, who I think everybody should know from AB Tool, was a past Tool of the Year judge, award judge, and they asked me this year, so tomorrow night I'm going to be one of the judges, and can we go see these tools?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Please come over.
I did a private Zoom demo. They are on screen, they look really good, so I'm actually pretty curious to see them in person. So this is one of the gentlemen I've been working with, Santosh. Look, I don't know if that's even going to come through. Is that seriously ground?
It is. On the CPX.
What's the diameter?
0.2
inches, millimeter. So they're running two different competitions in years past and this year. One is a simulation-based award, but they're actually creating the tool in, I call it CAM, but the actual simulation. So what you see here is this fighter jet truly is something that was created not from CAD being built up, but rather from a tool grinder machining it down in the Anca software. The other one is, of course, the actual cutting tool themselves. Is that a fair way to describe it?
That's exactly
great.
Right. Yeah,
Perfect.
So here are the actual made on Anca tools. And these are all the finalists of this year.
Okay.
And you can see here there is going to be multiple tools which are all multifunctional tools.
Yeah.
And there will be more to the other screen.
So what's awesome about these tools is, in my opinion as a machinist, they look quite complex or perhaps even overdone, but they're actually real cutting tools, and I want to get confirmation of this, but I believe they're going to be used in applications where you either cannot do a tool change because perhaps the machine doesn't have a tool changer or has a limited size tool changer, or you don't want to take the time to do a tool change. So one tool can do different style of drilling, ID work, and then different profiles along the axis of the tool to be able to cut, burr, thread mill, drill, all in the same tool, which is really incredible. So these are this year's contestants?
These are this year's finalists.
It's honestly incredible geometry. Our proximity to both custom tools as well as the Anca machines really stems from AP Tools, who have made a number of custom tools for how we make our products, but frankly they're very simple tools in comparison to these, but it gets the kind of creative juices flowing to think about what you could do with a custom tool. And my totally unbiased sales pitch for AP Tools or any custom tool company, it's not as expensive as you think. We're using custom woodwork cutters that are made in just over $100 for the tool, but a stock tool from a regular carbide cutting tool company is about the same price. Let's get a tour of Anca with Lucas. Walk us around. Let's see what we got.
Okay, pressure's on. Probably the best place to start is with the CPX.
Yep.
So this is our blank preparation machine.
Okay.
So obviously you have carbide bar stock.
You say obvious, but I believe that many machinists, like myself, know very little about how an end mill comes to be.
Okay, so generally bar stock of carbide rods comes in 310 mil lengths.
Okay.
So it's at about 1 foot.
Okay.
Yep. And obviously you want to cut that down to size.
Yep.
To various cutting tools. And then if you've got so you can see for examples here, so if there's like a barrel shaped cutter or
yep.
a circular segment cutter, it saves time on the grinder if the blade comes in already preformed.
Got it. So a roughing machine, or truly what you said, a prep machine. Got it.
Or if there's a step drill or whatever it might be, you put it in this machine. And you can see some of the sizes. So obviously this machine is able to go up to 1.25 inches, all the way down to these really fine.
Oh yeah, this is incredible. Yeah. And at the risk of asking an obvious question, Anca itself doesn't grind cutting tools, but you sell the machines to the companies that do.
Correct.
Yeah, great.
And so this machine uses a pinch peel process. So it's actually two wheels. There's a roughing and a finishing wheel.
Okay.
Engaged in the workpiece at once.
Like pinch grinding almost.
Correct.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So you're pinching and you're peeling. So peeling is where the wheel is slightly pivoted.
Okay.
So you get a higher stock removal.
Okay.
To go through. And then you hit stop.
So we're seeing that happening right. Oh, right there we go. Interesting. Yeah, sure. It's amazing how clean they always look. I don't know if it's actually making chips right now, but they always look wonderful inside.
Yeah, honestly, the coolant oil that you run makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And particularly when you're grinding carbide gets everywhere.
Yeah.
The powder.
Right.
And so yeah, having a really high quality filtration system and a really high quality oil makes a huge difference, not just to the life of the machine, but the quality of the part.
Sure. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
So we call these pallets.
Yeah.
So we have 3 pallets, and these are 2 active pallets at a time, and then 1, so it moves the tools.
Oh, sure. Sure. So this is a traditional end mill stuff.
Yeah, so this is your 5-axis grinder for producing end mills. This is our smallest machine. This is the FX. This one is configured here in a regrinding configuration. Where we actually have these special pockets. Each one of these has an RFID in it.
Oh, cool.
So over at a programming station, you can bring in a tool to be reground. You look at it, you work out how much you need to take off to get it back to the shaft.
Yeah, sure.
Link it to the RFID.
It's awesome.
You can just come and put it in any of these pockets. The machine picks it up, reads the RFID, and then it knows
what to do. That's awesome.
A robot in here, the yellow.
Oh, yep.
It's changing the wheel packs on the machine.
Oh, okay. It is the tool changer, per se, or the wheel pack changer.
Yeah, the terminology always
is backwards.
Tricky, yeah.
Sure.
But it's also loading the workpieces or the toolers.
Yep.
But it also changes the collets because this machine can, in one setup, can grind or regrind different size diameters.
Interesting. And how does this tool? Is the concentricity of the collet sufficient, or does it have to measure run out every time?
We have both options. Basically, it depends on what tolerance you're chasing.
Okay.
So we have quite precise collets. Yep. So you can get anything about 5 microns.
5 microns. Okay.
But we also have a run out compensation feature where we can come in and digitize, which is measure the run out, and then we actually, because all the software is ours, we're able to change the kinematics and compensation there, so we can then get the run out to under 2 microns.
That's incredible. That's cool.
So this is designed to be a turnkey solution for anyone who wants to fully automate tool production.
Wow.
This is a small scale version of it. So you've got the 5-axis grinder, you've got the Zola measurement machine. So in our world, we use Zolas to actually measure the features on the cutting tool. Yep. It's not just a presetter, it's actually measuring all the
I think of it as a CMM, but visual.
And then a setting station. So the way it works is the operator comes up and configures the jobs. So they'll have job cards, scan the barcode, load the blanks, the pre-ground, before they've been ground, into the pallets, put the pallets on the conveyor. The AGV comes and collects the pallet, takes it to the machine. But also, because we want process control, you nominate the number, but maybe every 5th tool, the AGV will come and collect a single tool, take it over to the Zola measures it, it feeds back the results to the machine, and the machine
it's incredible. I did not expect to see an automatic vehicle in the tool cutting booth. That's really cool.
And of course, we can then extend it. We can have the laser marking machine.
Oh, sure.
The blank preparation machine. Yeah.
So, cool.
Part of that process, so this is our newest release, which is the MX Ultra.
Okay.
And the MX7 Ultra. And I know you're a fan of the Kern machines.
Yeah.
I know they're a very precise kind of milling machine. On this machine, what we've done is we've increased the resolution of the control system down to 1 nanometer. So,
10 nanometers is 1 micron?
No, 1,000 nanometers.
No. Oh my god. Wow. Oh, the resolution though. Okay, I'm with you. Sorry, thank you.
So normally CNC system from the large, like Fanucs or whatever, you can order them in different resolutions. 100 nanometers, 10 nanometers, 1 nanometer. In tool grinding, most of the machines in the market are either 100 nanometers or 10 nanometers. This is 1 nanometer. And what we discovered by going to that resolution of feedback, we could see all sorts of things you couldn't see before.
Sure.
So the noise floor comes down, and now you start to see So we use that to then completely optimize the machine design.
Yeah.
And because it's all ours, so we don't buy in controls, motors, assembly. This is all Anca.
Interesting.
So we manufacture the motors, we manufacture the servo drives, we manufacture the CNC.
Wow.
Application software.
This is all in the Melbourne area? Okay. And these are linear motor driven machines on some of the?
Yeah, tubular linear motors. So normally you'll see a flatbed linear motor where the magnets are flat, and then you've got what you call the rotor or the stator.
Yeah, sure.
There. And with those you get a downforce.
Okay.
So when you energize the motor, whereas a circular tubular motor, they all cancel each other out.
Interesting. That's cool.
So this is producing a cutting tool with a surface finish, dimensional accuracy, and feature performance that we believe no one else is doing.
Interesting. That is very cool. The surface finishes that came off some of the tools that we're seeing in the competition are truly remarkable. They're not polished. There's no other post-process off the machine. Yeah.
So this one is quite a specialized machine. It's called our GCX, and it's configured for grinding skiving tools. So you're probably familiar with the skiving process.
Yeah.
So it's a highly efficient gear manufacturing process, so internal gears or external gears. But as you can imagine, gears have extremely tight tolerances. So the cutting tools that are used to make gears are even
Sure.
So this machine, we're the only one that does this, but normally in a skiving tool production line, you will grind the tool and then have to take it off to a CMM, measure it, and then compensate and put it back in. We're doing the measurement and compensation in process.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier today. I think the interesting thing that I want to see more of is machine tools that allow us to take these measurements in situ without having to take the part out and update and make decisions from that. Obviously, it seems to be a popular machine as well right now.
It certainly does.
It's a good problem to have as the trade show, right? We have migrated over to the West building. Got to add Patrick, who has really helped us with our Speroni presetter over the years, and you were just showing me before I hit record a new Speroni standalone heat shrink or shrink fit machine.
Yeah, shrink fit machine. So what makes this guy unique, obviously as you can see now, we've got the immersion chiller unit that just came up. We'll do another cycle. What's really special about this unit is there is a temperature control sensor right inside the coil. So it's going to actively measure the temperature of the holder so that we can never get it above 480 degrees Celsius. Once we get about 500, that's when things start to get a little weird with the steel. And you start losing your grip strength and start adding run out. So to avoid that, we're always going to be live monitoring our temperatures of the holder. So
what was great was when the demo we're just going to do again here is that you don't have to tell it what you have in the machine. It just knows, which is great.
Yep, it's just measuring the temperature. Now, if we want to, we can go in and say, all right, I want to do a specific target temperature for a certain amount of time, but you don't have to. I can just hit this play button, so I'll move the coil down until it makes contact. I'll pre-position my tool here. I can just hit the play button. We'll let it heat up.
It's really impressive how induction heaters, how quickly they get things
fast.
hot.
It's real fast. And if I'm good with it, I hit stop. It asks, you want to continue? I can say no. I can just wait, and it'll just continue on anyways. And then there's a little wait period. So we're using it's just distilled water with a little bit of clear coolant in there.
Okay.
So small amount of refrigerant for it, and then it'll quench it. But once again, because our temperature isn't high, we're not doing any damage with the quenching. And we've run hundreds of cycles, and as you can look at the color, I mean, none of it's black. There's none of that crust that's on there. You're going to be able to significantly increase your tool life by using a system like this. Plus the safety feature of the automatic immersion chiller, and
it's cool. That's great. Yeah, I mean, we had a poor man's. It was great, but a poor man's shrink fit machine, and without having a true cooling system, it was just worthless because we built a little cooling ring, but it took like 20 minutes for the tool to call it. Total no-go. So seeing another standalone option is great.
It's real nice. We really like this. It's we've had the integrated Speroni presetter shrink fit option, and what's nice now is we can also, even on the presetter, we can put one of these on a presetter. So that you can also, instead of setting a target power setting and time, we set time and target temp based on the actual tool.
Yeah, sure.
So
that's great.
It adds a lot of flexibility to our entire product.
Cool. So explain, assume I know very little. Why do I need a balancer? I run a shop and I've never used one. I've got a long time.
So the idea is typically at higher RPMs, balance becomes more critical, right? So obviously the higher the balance, we can get a little bit more run out from it. And you can also get some chatter vibrational issues from it. So at the higher RPM end of the spectrum, it is nice to be able to see what the imbalance is, and of course have the machine identify how to correct it. So we have a number of ways to do it.
But on like a typical Cat 40 machine, what do you define as high RPM?
Really, when you're getting probably like that 15,000 range, realistically. We do get some people that ask about it at the lower end. Probably don't need it, especially when you get to like Cat 50. Very rarely probably need to balance those. Like for here, we've got an HSK 63. That's going to be more of probably the primary taper that you'll see in the HSKs, but still could get it on the 42.
Okay.
What's unique about this one is typically balance machines are going to be running off of the old balance standard, the ISO 1940, oftentimes the G2.5 spectrum there. The problem with that is that was originally 1940. It was made back in 1940. And it was for a wide variety of balancing needs. And even the one that was specific for machine tools was for the machine tool spindle.
Well, think about how much has changed. I mean, I can't even begin.
It just didn't cover everything. And so what the problem with the 1940 is at the more of the micro end of the spectrum, the times when you'd often be running a high speed machine, it kind of breaks down. The tolerances get smaller and smaller, and the G2.5 has a really hard time keeping up with it. So now we have the option to balance to the new ISO 16084 standard, which is specific for cutting tools.
So again, for us layman machinists that I don't subscribe to the ISO email update list. So there was a new standard put out. It's tighter, or it's more relevant to modern era.
So for a quick example, I can show you in the database here. So we create like a tool that we want to balance. We give it a tool name, all that fun stuff. ISO mode. Here's our 1940. We can still do it.
That's the old one.
But you can see here. Here's what we have to do. Material we're going to run it in.
But 1940 literally means the year 1940.
Literally the year 1940.
Pre-World War II.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you take a look at the empty space here. Now if I go to 16084.
Oh wow.
We have a lot more data field.
Sure.
Things like center of gravity of the tool starts to get taken into account. So just a lot more data points that we can be dealing with, and therefore we're going to get a better balance.
Can you show us the basics for folks that don't know what you mean? I'm seeing all these inserts here. So so it's not that a tool's wrong, but as you add different cutting tools or the rotating tool assembly, things aren't perfect. And there is no such thing as perfect, right? So I like the user interface. It looks solid.
It's quite nice. So we have it set up to it's going to auto index 180 degrees, so that we can sort of factor in for the run out of the spindle. So what it's saying is,
oh, you balance it twice then.
Well, yeah, it's going to spin it twice.
Okay, so I may have missed it on camera, but it rotated and he put it back in.
It rotated, I put it back in. And now I can firm it, clamps back down, spins it up again. And after this point, because we had a 180, but we can do 90 or 120. So if you want to really be precise about it, we can do more.
So we are hoping to end up with a used Willemin that has I don't know if it's a 42,000 RPM spindle because it's an older one, but significantly higher than anything we have in our shop. It would be the smaller HSK 25E maybe?
It's real small.
It's small,
I mean, they're like...
No, it's larger than that. I may be wrong.
32E.
Maybe it's 32.
Yeah, there's a 32E. That's very possible.
Is that a type of tool that folks would want to balance?
Potentially, yeah. Okay. Because you can start to get those high speeds.
But you have to have holders that accept the balancing weights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so we'll talk about this really fast. So weights are one thing, right? So in this case, set screws, and that's what this is. And now in this case, I'm at 0.09 grams of imbalance.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
I don't have
far smaller.
Small, so this has already been balanced.
Yeah, I got it.
So that's why we got the blue light. We're good.
I see.
It's telling us we're good. But however, right over here, I can select how I want to deal with it. So if I go drilling, and actually, if you watch, if I do milling, screws, there we go, it'll rotate to wherever it needs to go.
So screw is, though,
these are
what?
These weighted set screws.
Which go in right here?
Correct.
Ah, okay.
Yep. So those are those weighted set screws, so it'll move it in the position where it needs it. Granted, you know, it's saying to put in a 0.09, so I'm not...
Which is literally the smallest one they have is 4.5 times bigger. So what's the difference between screw and actual just weight?
So weight is a different method where you can actually like plug in like a slug.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably not something we use very often, but
I see.
It is there. Most people are going to be doing the set screws, milling, drilling, and then soon to come we will have the option for the rings.
Collars, got it.
Yeah.
Milling drilling is what you say. You're literally going to actually drill the...
That's a permanent solution.
Yes, and
so
that's not happening here.
That's obviously for something like a solid, you know, a solid body tool, right, or like an indexable tool that you might want to balance. The screws would be something where, like in this case, with the shrink fit, right, where that carbide is going to come in and out quite a bit, so therefore you want to be rebalancing.
Yeah, sure. For those of you that aren't super active on the Instagram world, Alfred Lyon, who's been an awesome member of the Instagram machining community and a person that we had the pleasure of doing a shop tour with, got pretty sick this summer with cancer, and he's making it through that, but he's not able to be here. But I definitely want to come say hello to everybody at AB Tools. They actually have a Tormach here running as well. Good to see you, John.
Good to see
you. How are you? You're on camera. Is that okay?
Hello, everybody.
How's Alfred doing?
He's improving.
Good. John and the team have made some custom tools for us. We actually, I think, did a whole video on that back cutting tool, showing how we use it, using all that. But for folks that don't know, give us the pitch on AB Tools. What do you guys do?
We make special cutting tools quickly to your specs.
Yeah.
That's our bread and butter.
Awesome. And you guys do it very well?
We think we do.
Yeah, that's cool. You've got a upper receiver there, some Picatinny rail stuff. You guys have some sort of off-the-shelf custom tools for that world?
Yeah, we have, these are all stock items, Picatinny rail cutters, key mod cutters, you name it.
Yeah.
They're all stock cutters, and then we do special variations of those.
Yeah. Okay. The thing I was trying to emphasize, because we're now that Anca judge this year, was...
Oh, for the best tool, yeah. Right on.
Was, you know, I didn't necessarily think we were ready for custom tools. They seem complicated, expensive, and they're not. I was explaining earlier in this video that the tool we were looking at was $110. Your tool was, you know, $20 more than that or something. Yeah. Like no big deal at all, and it's pretty cool.
It's not no big deal, but it's not the end of the world either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, and you guys do 1 or 2 quantity type tools. You don't need to be ordering a bunch.
One each, 60 each, whatever you want.
Yeah, cool. Imagine having a Haas UMC 750 subtractive 5-axis milling machine with a 3D printer built into it to do metal additive hybrid machining. You know, build up material on a shaft like this and then machine it back down. See if we can sink the camera in. We actually saw one of these a few weeks ago in London at the, or Birmingham, England, at the Autodesk facility there. And it's a UMC, I think they had 1000, but really cool. Here we go. Oh, awesome, look at that. Look at that. We asked the folks in Birmingham, you know, can you do this in a machine? Does it cause long-term problems? And it's short answer is no. Really cool. The ability to do that, to deposit that material down and then come back through and machine it as needed is just, you know, if there's one thing that is the future, I hope in my lifetime this kind of stuff is, you know, not just seeing it at trade shows. Needs no introduction, but 5th Axis.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Can you guys show us the new automation stuff?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So actually, before we get there, we've got new ripper jaws for round part holding.
Yep.
So basically just a new jaw, mounts on our existing vices, and just got a serrated little knife edge for holding round parts. Larger 96 millimeter gripper fingers,
awesome.
Bigger cleat system.
Yep.
And we actually brought some sort of prototype lightweight vices as well.
Okay.
So aluminum base, steel rails, steel jaws.
Oh, look at that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
dumb question, but just because robots really can't lift that much weight.
Exactly.
Okay.
So half the weight of our normal vice.
Okay.
So
really?
for
That's crazy. Yeah.
Just like everything we do, systems modular. You can buy the vices, put them on a cart, or if you want a rack, we offer the rack.
So I mean, like obviously, as I know 5th Axis, you sell vices. Are you guys going to start selling solutions?
Right now, we're going to be selling really good hardware for automation.
That's pretty funny.
Hey, look at that.
That's right. Sorry.
So hardware for automation in the future, we may offer a full solution, but right now it's all the pieces and accessories to go with.
But can I buy a UR or Cobot?
You
or does it have to be FANUC?
Yeah, no, we're going to be robot agnostic. So
I like that.
Whatever the robot you get, we're, from the gripper fingers forward, we're going to give you all the good solutions for that. And then we've got the pneumatic chucks as well. So 52 millimeter,
that's the key then.
96 millimeter side port or bottom port. So the bottom port's got clamp, unclamp, clamp confirmation, and cleaning air. The side port is just a normal clamp, unclamp.
Okay, so that's the key. That's the foundation.
That's the big stuff.
But even if you're on a robot, you can do this. I mean, a wrench isn't that bad, but it's nice to.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and we've got some customers that are running URs with like an Allen actuator.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Gripper. It works for some customers. Ooh. Again, we're like providing solid solutions and whatever you want to do. We like the the pallet loading without the pallet.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome.
Fully integrated 400 millimeter tombstone for your horizontal rock block. Under $5,000 as it stands, and then we've got a machinable, so a drill and tappable, under $2,000.
Good morning, welcome to day 2. That's Wednesday for me of IMTS. I wanted to come down and say hi to my friends at ProjectMFG. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm McCall Atchison. I was the welder on the Calhoun team at the ProjectMFG competition.
And?
My name's Caleb Billy. I was a programmer at Calhoun Community College.
So, shameless plug, absolutely. I had the chance to be a judge in this competition. We'll put a link in the description to the YouTube series, but really great competition where 4 teams were able to come together over in Wichita, Kansas, and do a competition. Did you guys enjoy that? You enjoy the show?
It was awesome. Great experience and a great show.
Yeah.
It was an awesome experience. It's great for students to learn and actually get a chance to go out and do real world stuff.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Eleanor Digg. I'm ProjectMFG's Community Development Manager, so I really work with the community to engage the competition.
So if someone's watching this, why should they go watch the ProjectMFG?
Oh, it's so exciting. I guarantee you will cry. You will learn more than you thought you could about manufacturing and just the humans behind the machines.
If somebody had told me, 5 years ago, that any of us would be involved in a reality TV show around manufacturing, I would have laughed at you, but ended up being pretty cool, and appreciate the chance to meet all you guys and be involved in it. You want to show off the, that was Swix, I guess, right? Do you guys have yours here?
No, we don't.
Oh, come on. Well, I'm not going to ask you to show off the other teams.
Well, I mean, they did a great job. I mean, they won the $100,000, but yeah, this is theirs, so, their topper with that shim washer design and gluing it together was super cool, so I'm glad we have the winning teams on display.
But I'll tell you, and I'm really glad that the final filming showed this off. You did such a good job on the welding.
Thank you.
And it's my humble opinion is that the welding was harder than the machining.
Maybe, I don't know. I think having them be combined was the hardest part. I really liked that if the welders failed, the machinists failed, and if the machinists failed, the welders failed. I like that not one person could carry the whole team through it.
That's a good explanation as well. So, more to come, but again, check out the ProjectMFG video footage, link in the description. Day 2 just got better. Grimsmo ran into me when I was doing the podcast at Okuma. We were actually looking for a spot to do the bomb, and we realized, wait a minute here, we're in an Okuma podcast booth set up at the trade show, and we asked if we could hijack it. So we did.
It went great. It was amazing. It was so good. Yeah.
How you enjoying the show?
Amazing. It's like we were talking on the podcast before or something, and I don't want to brag, but we kind of know what we're talking about at this point. Like, we're established business people. We make really good revenues. We have a dozen employees. Like, I feel like I belong here.
Yeah.
The first few that I come to, I'm like, I don't belong here. And now it's like, these are my people. These are, I'm learning and I'm providing value at the same time.
Yeah.
It's great.
But that's what the guy did the podcast with Wade was like, his advice or someone else's advice that he was saying was like, don't be an expert. And that's true. Like, go in and almost play dumb, like hand them a part and just shut up and listen and see what they say about it. So we're now over in the software building. Let's go see if we see anything interesting. Yeah, you didn't have all of the white stuff at the emo machine, whatever that is. Grimsmo's nerding out. So we saw this in emo. It's a really impressive machine that's able to do multiple tool changers, but then also multiple pallets in the same machine. So perfect for that application of watchmaking. But in the footprint, it is the ability to have the Chiron quality and that part size capability, 5-axis, very cool. Just admiring air bearings. If you've never felt an air bearing, I mean, it's exactly what you would think. It just floats. It's just the most perfect feeling of total frictionless. This little puck here that you can just move around, or even the way this beam slides through here, it's just effortless. It's just so really cool. I was literally just hitting record to record what's behind us, which is the Instant Machines meetup, and I met John Holiday. You enjoying the show?
Oh, it's
cool.
Great so far.
Seen anything noteworthy?
All the machines are noteworthy.
Yeah, right.
Everything you want to dream of.
Yeah.
You know? Seeing especially the Kern running away doing.
Let's go check it out. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Holy cow! This is great. How's IMTS? Woo! Awesome. Good morning. It is Thursday. This is my last day at IMTS. Well, I wanted to come back over here to the West building, see if I could find a buddy at YG1. We really enjoyed using their AluPower alumina end mills, some of their V7 Pro end mills for steel, but then also their tool holders that have the through coolant ports. I'll see if I can find one, but these have been great because we don't want to always buy tools that have through spindle coolant within the tool itself, but having it in the holder has been absolutely great to get coolant where we want it. And here's the guy I was looking for.
How you doing, John?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
I snuck in before everyone's opening. Just wanted to say hi.
How's it going?
Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Shane Hollenbaum, the Executive Director of Sales for YG1 in North America.
Awesome. I was just telling everybody on camera that we love using your V7 Plus. Thank you. Sorry, it's early. And then the holders that have the through coolant ports have been absolutely great. Do you guys have one of those here?
Yeah, actually we do. We have the hydraulic chucks here. We have the hydraulic, and you know, after you and I talked, and did some things, we actually developed a new Power E Hydro.
Okay.
Just for high metal removal, milling.
Yeah.
This has 750 Newton meters of clamping force in there, which is crazy. I mean, we're peeling titanium with this thing in a roughing titanium with it. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Awesome.
But
go ahead.
We have the full line of tool holders here from Heat Shrink. Of course, we have all the extensions. We've got the hydraulic chucks. We've got all your sleeves, end mill holders, synchro tapping chucks for high efficiency tapping.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Love those. Awesome. How's the show been?
Unbelievable. You know, everyone coming out of COVID, it was a little bit questionable about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
How many people are going to come? You know, since 2020, I've been telling them as we plan for 2022 IMTS, if we build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And so we went with a bigger booth. It's 3 times the size of our normal booth.
It is huge, and you got great placement.
Yes. Yeah, we were lucky. We rolled the dice. We got a great spot here. We have more leads through the first 3 days of IMTS than we had in any show ever in history. So the people are here. It's really great what's going on. And we're just excited. We have Grobe in the booth with us.
Yeah.
With a G350.
Can we walk over to that? Yeah.
They're machining titanium live on the IMTS floor. As far as we know, this is the first time it's ever been done.
Yeah, we were looking at some other demos where they had to sub out titanium for a more non-fire potential material.
Yeah. So the guys from Grobe are partnering with us here in the booth. So we have three different parts that they're machining in here. So Mike's here from Grobe. Mike, you want to just tell them what you guys are doing on your demo?
Everybody, yeah. So we've got a bone plate out of titanium. We have a mold part that we kind of fabbed up ourselves out of P20, and then a blisk segment also out of titanium as well.
Okay, so I'll ask a super dumb question. The mold part here, this is a stamping die or an injection mold, or what kind of application?
Honestly,
or trade show special.
Injection mold. That's a trade show special. We just kind of added some features that we thought were, I guess, for the mold industry, mainly having a pocket. Tougher surfaces with some radii. The main thing was the blend into the bottom of the floor of the pocket. So and then obviously the through holes for cooling too. So something we kind of fabbed up ourselves.
Awesome, and it's always cool to see blisks or partial blisks. Really thin profile, incredible. And what's the material on all 3 of these?
Titanium on the blisk, P20 on the mold, and then titanium on the bone plate.
And P20 is usually a semi-hardened steel, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. We're using the AluPowers. We use the V7 Plus. We use your holders. all on our own choice. We love them. What would you tell me we should look at from YG1 that we're not using?
Let's walk down to the other machine demo, John. What we have going on down here is we really wanted to push the envelope at IMTS. As you see, we're machining titanium on the show floor, but we also wanted to push tools to the limit. So Toyota partnered with us to do some demos.
Actually, I'm going to interrupt you. When Shane says he's pushing stuff to the limit, he's not joking.
Yeah, this is really crazy. Bill's running some tests over here. It's our P&MU cutter.
Okay.
We've got a tapping application here. Tapping application, we're at 1,000 surfaces.
So with tap 20.
Okay.
Synchro tap. We're tapping that at 900 RPM.
Okay.
We're tapping the synchro tap half 13.
That's a form tap.
Form tap.
Okay.
At 1100 RPM.
Okay.
About 140 surface feet.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So,
and what material?
4140.
Yeah.
So,
we're not using. I've never even tried one of your taps. We'll have to give that a shot then.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of things going on with our tap development from Synchro Tap. We have a new tap coming out, Prime Tap. I'll try to find Mark Ford, our product manager, for tapping, and talk a little bit of what we've done with the evolution to come to Prime Tap. People have loved our Blue Ring tap for years.
Yeah.
And we came out with our combo tap, which has always been a staple at YG1.
What is that?
Now Synchro. Yeah, let's walk over to the table.
The thing, we have no affiliation with YG1. Like, literally, we just like the tooling. The tool life has been great, and honestly, the cost has been great. And I don't think Shane would shy away from that. I just sort of said, look, we just love using your stuff. We don't have any relationship. It's just a great price. The tool life has been great, and we're happy with the assortment you guys have and the stock you have, which is kind of what I care about as a manufacturer.
Yes, and it's been great talking to you about, you like to push tools to the limit, think outside the box. I like to think outside the box. So it's always just been great to talk back and forth about the crazy things we're doing.
Shane, thanks for showing us at the booth this morning. Really good to see you.
Great to see you again.
Yeah, awesome.
Glad to see we're all out here together again.
It is great to be out here.
Enjoying the show, getting them back in this industry. This industry is about relationships and seeing each other. And I think after a few years of us having to order online and do Zoom cameras, we're so glad to see each other.
It is great. And honestly, like, that's one of the selfish pleasures I get, is getting to know people in this industry. Shane's one of those guys that he's not kidding. He really just actually enjoys nerding out on cutting stuff. Really. So thanks, Shane.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
As a lot of that actually ran it and measured it, so I'm not guessing everything.
Oh, that's actually really impressive. That's really impressive.
So that's
and a shout out to Qualichem. Gotten to know these guys over the years, and they are generously providing a lot of the coolant for our training classes, and really have just been really enthusiastic promoters of what we're doing in the trades, which I really appreciate. And in one of those really touching moments, after Judd passed away, the whole team at Qualichem sent me a really nice gift and a card, and it's kind of one of those moments that just makes you realize it's those sort of relationships in life that make this all worth doing. So shout out to Qualichem. Always good to come see our friends at NOGA and see if they have anything new. Good to see you.
Long time no see.
Good to see you.
How is everything?
Great. How are you?
Good.
How's the show?
Excellent.
That's great. We keep hearing that.
It's unbelievable. We have a lot of traffic. More people are very happy.
Great.
Hopefully because they didn't participate in many shows lately. So this is the first one after 2 years, right?
Yes. Good.
So how are you doing? Okay?
Great. Great. Anything to show us here at the booth this year?
We have now usually we are selling the magnetic base only with fine adjustment on top.
Yes.
Or the second option, fine adjustment on the base.
Yes. We love the base. We really do.
Yeah. Now many people ask us if we can have two options in one set, which means that we'll have fine adjustment on the base and also fine adjustment on top.
Yeah.
So this is something that's already available through the mail order.
Yes. Yes.
Also what we have here.
Yeah, this looks new. What's this?
Yeah, this is a power arm.
Okay.
It's a semi-hydraulic. Many customers ask, they have a new power arm which they can hold monitors or panels or some heavy stuff.
Sure, sure.
So this new arm can hold up to 55 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. And
wow.
the same system. It's a central locking mechanism knob. You can move it any position you want.
Yeah.
When you lock the knob, you lock the whole system. Also what we have lately, we just designed a new V-block.
Oh,
the difference between the V-block, our V-block and the others that you can install the NOGA arm. So
Look
you
at
can
that.
use it as
Yeah.
a V-block and also as a standard NOGA magnetic base. We have also the
mag
NOGA
base.
arm with
Sure.
the granite table. Those are already available in different dimensions and different sizes. So we established a new leaflet, and we're doing quite well with this in the last year.
That's great.
I think that's all about right now. We have also a new magnet.
Yeah, I saw that with multiple.
With a multiple internal thread.
That is
in
genius.
case people need to use 2 arms.
Yes.
Or 3 arms for the same application.
I like that.
If we look at the deburring here, we have a new spider burr. The spider burr can remove external burrs from plastic pipes up to 4 inches. You have to use the power tool and just install it on it, and it's an excellent.
So that's the example right there. So it adjusts to a certain diameter range?
Yes, it's from 1 inch to 4 inch. There is an insert here, and you can remove only plastic pipes.
Okay.
This is something new. It's much more focusing on the plumbing industry.
Yeah.
Also, we create some sets to satisfy the customers. So if they buy 10 or 20 blades, they can get a free handle.
Okay.
So people like those promotion. And we have the Leatherman.
I haven't seen that.
Deburring. Yes.
Can you, if you have it here, can you show us? We have the NOGA plastic deburring tool that has the white, sort of the white straight tool that we use to deburr plastic, and we love it. Yeah, I see it over there. Drew, will you show us that what you're holding? That's what I want to see. So what is this called?
Burring knife.
The plastic one.
Ceramic.
Yes, if usually people are using the same standard high-speed steel blade.
It gouges.
For plastic.
Yeah.
The problem, you don't have a control. Sometimes you dig in.
Yes.
And
no, not
you
sometimes.
remove a lot of burrs.
All the time.
All the time. Okay, I'm trying to be polite. Now we figured and you find out the ceramic material. The ceramic is very friendly with plastic.
Yes.
So he cannot dig in. He just removing the burrs only.
Yeah.
He's not cutting, he's not digging. He just remove. This is a big difference.
That's great.
Also for your safety, you don't cut yourself. Very good in the US market for insurance liability. And okay, you can throw it away and nothing will happen. So this is something that is very popular right now in the plastic industry. We are selling to a lot of plastic factories and automotive
What is the name or part number of that?
This is ceramic tool catalog number CR2000.
CR2000.
That
Great.
is correct.
Great. Thank you. So I'm off to visit DSI. So here's the interesting idea. They are an Autodesk reseller, and they have come to us to say, hey, let's talk. And here's why I think this is really interesting, is that we're super excited to kind of be back having our training classes, but there's some kind of training and stuff that we don't want to do, and there's work that we're not qualified to do in terms of super advanced CAM stuff or more long-term contract training or stuff like that. So the question is there a way that we can offer what we're doing on training, or you're able to come and actually run machines, but they can offer a different level, like enterprise level support for Fusion 360, for post-development and all that. So John is the guy. I want to see how that conversation goes, but also just take a look at what they've got and what they think of the show. Actually, you guys might remember Devin. Devin's man in the booth. How's the show?
Pretty good.
Yeah? Good. So how long you been with DSI?
Going on almost a year now.
Yeah? How's it been?
It's been really good, yeah.
And a man that should need no introduction, but nevertheless, for those of you that have heard Phil from the WhatsApp chat, actually, Devin got an pretty exclusive invite to that chat as well. But
it was quite the approval process, but he made it.
You want to introduce yourself for me?
I am the Dr. Phil Experience on Instagram, and now DSI.
Awesome. I was literally just saying there's this idea that you guys could play a really interesting role in the stuff that we don't want to do or aren't qualified to do, and to see how that works. What can you explain DSI aside from the fact that it's just a quote-unquote reseller?
Yes, I mean DSI is a reseller, but I mean to kind of back it up, looking at what Autodesk role is and what our role is and how they differ. Autodesk is kind of like Snap-on Tools. Like they make tools, but they don't fix cars. So what we do is
a little bit more in that same kind of analogy. You know, we can study the tool, but we can help you rebuild the transmission or pull the engine or train your guys how to do it. Really taking you from start to finish. And when you have questions or technical problems, you know, you can reach out to us and you know, we can support you and things like that. Where Autodesk, you know, they do that and they do that with a select, you know, few customers. But when you have a sea of 200,000 people with their hand raised, it's kind of hard to have that dedicated attention for everybody. So we try to provide that. You know, we have support and things like that where we, you know, can help our customers through little issues. You know, send me the file and you look at the toolpath and whatnot. And really, that's our role, and that's what customers find the most valuable, because a lot of people are looking for that.
Yeah, well, and that's what's interesting, and I'm just being fully transparent here. I have no idea if we're going to end up working together, but they were sort of mentioning this idea that you could buy Fusion through DSI instead of through Autodesk, and that comes with some perks, but you also have just true support at a level that you can't get elsewhere.
Yeah, and there's no difference. You know, you don't lose anything with Autodesk buying from us. You know, your relationship with them is the exact same. You just have like basically a personal, you know, like concierge for, you know, your Autodesk account. If there's something wrong, you have a problem, whatever, you can call real people. We'll handle it. We'll take care of it. And like, we work for you.
Yeah, right. If folks want to learn more about you guys, where do they go?
They go to dsi-mfg.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Evan.
Thank you.
Phil, good to see you guys as always.
As always.
So we heard that there is a Robodrill that has built-in pallet changing and a higher capacity tool changer. I'm actually wondering if this is it right here, because that's actually really cool. And something that Grimsmo and I talked a lot about on the podcast was this idea of taking the size of a drill mill platform like this, but having that additional tool capacity and automation. Looks like that's what this is. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. All the extra tools there. Man, oh, there it is. Look at that. Oh, so it's a robot arm that's doing the work of both. So there's little mini pallets. It looks like it's a Lang system. So if I can get a shot without the tool blocking the view. So that's awesome. You know, seeing robotic load pallets is not new, but having the same system that can also load in those tools is pretty sweet. Well, I've been talking with this with Grimsmo about this idea of like, hey, density of automation that can also avoid the tool limit issues with these Robodrills. You know, what is the pallet and tool density then? Capability?
60 workpieces and 64 total tools.
60 workpieces?
60 workpieces.
Legit.
In the carousel.
Legit.
43 additional tools here, plus 21 in the carousel.
Okay, got it. Yep. In the single FANUC control handles all of the tool and pallet management.
FANUC control handles the tool and pallet management. FANUC DDR tables.
Yeah.
So that's 2 4th axis FANUC DDRs. FANUC robot.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
Right. FANUC machine, so it's all FANUC integrated.
And can you do tool load and unload from an operator station, or still through the spindle?
Yes, you can. Through the spindle. You can also do it manual load if you want to.
You can. Okay. So while it's well, I guess it can't be running.
You wouldn't really with the robot, because it's fully capable of doing it without manually loading into the turret.
No, but like if I want to add tool 138 right now, is that able to be done?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Pop it right in.
Yeah.
And then you got to tell it that 138, pot 138 has whatever your 3/8 cutter.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
What time? 73 hours. Yeah, I've seen them at shows before. I've never really told them unless I bet this is probably like a band or something. I bet that. I think it's there's a lot of equipment as well.
I know Brother has some new machines out. Let's see if we can see what's going on. So they still have the same verticals. What I believe they have that I'd like to find is the new 5-axis machine. And I think this is it. Here we go. So M200 XD1. Oh, it's pretty smooth. Looks like it's making a total knee joint. Pretty small footprint. Tool to tool speed, that's incredible. Sub 1 second.
It's your flat pole 5-axis, 5-axis positioning. If you're doing any kind of move where it's
it looks like the spindle is rotating before it's even picked up by the tool, the spindle. Okay, picking up. Oh, look at that! That's a good idea. Puts it, uses that V to load it right, orient in the right spot, or locate it in the right spot, I should say. Oh, that's crazy! Look at that turning. That's crazy.
About the equipment?
Just admiring. Thank you.
So this is a turn mill. We designed it with Bosch to make their electric motor housings, the servo motors. It's got 2,000 RPM turning, full 16,000 RPM milling spindle. We just came out with a true 5-axis variation of this machine.
Oh wow, yeah. So if you can hear the background, 2,000 RPM chuck, 16K spindle, and true 5-axis capability now.
Chip tool change time, less than a second and a half.
Yeah, it's
full
incredible.
rapids in less than 3/4 of an inch.
Incredible.
About 80% electricity than your typical 40 taper machine. We've got a regenerative spindle, so when we go to do a tool change and we slam that spindle to a stop, it stores that energy, similar to a Prius motor.
Yeah.
You kick it back up, and you're off to the races.
Right back. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch your videos all the time.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's honestly, we kind of joked that sometimes it's TBD what we see at shows that's really new and interesting. So we were actually pretty excited to see what Brother has come out with.
Yes.
So this is one of them, right? The True 5?
This is one.
Okay.
So this is the one that's just 4+1. The True 5 is over here doing a titanium knee demo.
You want to show us?
Yeah.
Or can you?
Yeah, we can go over here.
I think I saw it, but I was just looking. I wasn't actually doing anything.
So this is the M200. This is a pretty good view back here. So right now we're doing a titanium knee demo, same as the previous generations. 2,000 RPM turning. We have a 10,000 RPM, 35 horsepower high torque spindle, or a 16,000 RPM spindle. This one's fitted with 28 tools. Chip-to-chip time, less than a second and a half. We've got tool center point control, dynamic work offsets. We include our high precision mode as well as 1,000 PSI coolant. And yeah, it's a really neat piece of equipment.
So dumb question.
Yes.
I'm new to seeing these new machines. What is the difference between the machine we just saw that had the robot and this machine?
So the difference between this one and that one, a couple different electronics on the back end to allow it to give it the 5th axis capability.
Full 5. The other one is positional 4.1?
Yes.
Okay.
And this would have our new D0 control on it, touchscreen, a lot of integrated apps.
But same cast iron, if you will.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, same casting.
Yep.
So same proven technology. New tool changer, 28 tools as opposed to 22.
Yeah, it's huge. Adding every tool you can, right?
Yep.
You know, Brother does make something that has 40
tools.
Which is that?
R650.
You have one here?
Yes.
Can we go see
it? The 40 tool variation over here.
Yeah. Okay, so this machine is not new.
This is not new.
Okay.
No, this is the R650. This machine's been around for a while. This variation has 40 tools standard with 1,000 PSI through spindle coolant.
Yeah.
What's great about the R series machines, think of a horizontal.
Yes.
It turns, drops on your locating pins.
Yeah.
What we do is we actually keep our table stationary. We drop out a pancake cylinder and we turn on one axis.
Okay.
So you don't get chips, coolant, all that gunk up top.
Yep.
Another thing that's really great about this machine, you can run a 4th or 5th axis rotary on both tables.
That's really incredible because it's rotating, but it can maintain that rotary. Yeah.
So we have the rotaries on there. We run all our cabling through the center of the table, so you don't have to hang it down like you would on a traditional horizontal. With it being a vertical platform, a lot easier to understand the programming.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are more comfortable with the vertical space.
Yeah. I'll interrupt him by saying, a lot of our 2022 we ended up integrating our Okuma horizontal, but we have capacity issues on our drill tap machine, and we have thought a lot about this idea of a twin pallet because, like a horizontal, while it's running, we can be either loading up repeat jobs or running alternate product lines, which is kind of one of those situations where 1 + 1 = 3. So it's cool to see these.
So So I have some customers that they will just gang up a bunch of machines next to each other. They'll throw a light curtain, and then they never have to close the door because the machining area and the load-unload zone are completely different.
Serious? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so the door just stays open, they walk back and forth and load their parts.
That's crazy.
So instead of having our traditional carousel tool changer on here, we've actually got a tool magazine on the side. A lot of customers will do an op 10 and op 20. They'll do part A, part B, or they'll just run volumes of the same component.
Yeah.
The best way to make these machines efficient is having your load-unload time and your cycle time be as close to a 1-to-1 ratio as possible.
Yeah, balancing that. Okay.
And what we'll have people do is kind of an exercise to see what time they could save with a load system like this. Start a stopwatch the second your spindle finishes cutting.
Yeah.
Just watch your operator load-unload. The second that spindle hits the cut again, stop that stopwatch, subtract 3 seconds, and that delta is the time that you can save. With its energy-saving design, Brother has multiple chip coolant pumps for different areas of the machine. That way we're not taking a 30 horsepower pump and just draining coolant through it. Allows you to save some energy.
Where is the chip? Or excuse me, where is the tool?
So the tool magazine.
I was expecting to see your rope around the rope around thing, but that's not what this is.
So this one is a magazine tool changer here on the side.
Oh, it is a proper. Okay, got it. Sure.
And I'd like to say the Brother machines are really complicated. They're really not. They're just designed to cut chips.
Yeah.
Steam machines as old as I am, still running production volumes.
Yeah.
I've been doing so 3 shifts for the last 30 years.
Sure.
The Brothers, I mean, as fast as they are, we typically see cycle time reductions 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
With their less energy consumption. For example, Montague, these guys, they had, I think, 20 Haas machines in the same footprint that 30 Brother machines. Brought in about $2 million in additional revenue.
Wow.
About the same electric bill as well.
Yeah, it's actually no joke. We having just added a big horizontal, I was a little bit surprised at the increase in our electric bill. But in fairness, that machine's also running, sometimes 12, 14 hours a day versus probably 5 hours on a vertical was a good day for us. So, hey, thank you for the tour. Appreciate you showing us around.
Appreciate it. Yep. Thanks for your time.
Now that the index is running, of course, it's got a huge crowd around it. But let's see if we can sneak a little picture in. I mean, they are just amazing to watch. I'm really hoping that we can get out to Metalquest and show theirs and how they're running it. They're making a lot of firearms, muzzle brake parts, and the cycle times are just incredible. Back working here. Oh, look at that motion. That's incredible. Huge process control. Pull the part out right there, put it on the conveyor. So what is incredible about these machines is if you don't know, if you do know, don't worry, but if you don't, what's incredible about these machines, it's the key, is the part stays on the bar. So you've got, 6 bars, and the part gets roughed, say, at 12 o'clock, and then the whole turret that has 6 different bars, so you kind of like got 6 bar feeders, rotates counterclockwise to the next operation. And so you don't have to, say, transfer the part like you do on a dual spindle lathe, moving in between the main spindle and the sub spindle. So it's incredibly fast. Obviously, there's no risk of changing your run out or tolerancing and so forth. Just really incredible.
Dan, IGS Dan on Instagram.
Can you tell us what we're about to see?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're machining an end mill with an end mill made from PCD. So we have a tool from 6C Tools based in Switzerland. We represent them here in the U.S. And it's a solid piece of PCD brazed on top of carbide. And all the flutes are formed with laser ablation. So instead of having 2 flutes like you would on a PCD cutter normally, you have on 6mm diameter, like 55 cutting edges.
Interesting. So PCD is polycrystalline diamond. It's a diamond, basically,
yes,
or industrial
exactly.
diamond.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but really, we formed the PCD specifically for sintered ceramics and tungsten carbide and things like that. So it's not good for soft materials, but for very hard brittle materials. So at the show on the Micro HD, we have an end mill that we've now cut down several times. We take off a top layer off the top, 1 to 2 millimeters, 1 millimeter.
Okay.
But it's up to the entire flute length of the tool. This tool just happens to be 1 millimeter.
Okay, got it. And for us, basic machinists that know, say, like a Rockwell C scale, 60 Rockwell is hard. Is there a way of comparing what a carbide end mill is on that scale?
I think it's beyond 70 Rockwell. Like, it's beyond the HRC scale.
Yeah, it's beyond that, basically. Okay, yeah, it's beyond
Yeah, I think
hard.
you have to do Victor's hardness, something like that.
Okay.
Avoid HV. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, we mill off the top. We do a 5-axis chamfer on it.
Yeah, of course.
Drill a hole and thread mill it with
That's
M2 thread in about 10 minutes.
Is that a Dixie whirler style thread mill, or
No, all from 16.
all from 60? Okay, excuse me. Okay, great. Can we see it? And you have a micro HD, but this could be done on the quote-unquote regular micro. Yeah.
The more precise your machine is, the better for tool life, just because it's controlling the cutter accuracy and the position of the machine to what you want the tool to do.
So that is it. That's a 6mm PCD tool. Almost looks like a small grinding.
It's like a burr.
Yeah, burr. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
That's 55 individual geometrically defined cutting edges on it. And based on my speeds and feeds, I'm generating about a 90 nanometer chip.
I was going to kind of ask speeds and feeds or chip thickness, but I mean, almost to me incomprehensible size. It's quite small. You won't see them. Yeah, got it.
So this is running at 40 inches a minute.
Okay. What RPM?
Just over 11,000.
Okay. Which is, I mean, this is a 42,000 RPM spindle.
Yeah.
If you're one with the technical ceramics, it gets 4 times harder than working with tungsten carbide, so it helps then to have the precision of the machine like this. But
I appreciate the candor there. It doesn't have to be on a Kern, but
like 6C in Switzerland, they have 2 test machines right now. They have Haas OM1, I think.
Serious?
An office mill and a Beta Robodrill.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's like they've got a little RPM to play with, 24,000-ish, but it's like they're pretty normal machines. Yeah. It's not a really good marketing strategy to say, sure, you can cut ceramics, but you need a Kern. So.
Well, case in point, for folks that don't know Kern, how many machines a year do you make?
60, 65.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so Grimsby and I had the chance to tour Kern, and as a machine tool builder, they got started as a job shop that needed more accurate machines. I'm summarizing, but 2 awesome tour videos that you can link to, we'll put in the description. So the thing that really resonated with me was when we were touring their job shop, and they were talking about why it's important to use a machine as accurate as the Kern. And yes, if you have instances where you need the accuracy, full stop, end of conversation. But a lot of times, it isn't necessarily the absolute accuracy on one part, it's the consistency between the first part and the 200th part. Otherwise, as impressive as this is, actually it's a pretty legitimate depth of cut. Also not the most crazy rooster tailing, hogging, machining footage, but still really impressive. And you had to rotate the tool has to be replaced throughout the show, or no?
I have not replaced this tool as of yet.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Close to 400 minutes on it.
Yeah? Wow. Okay.
That's part of the advantage of having such a high food count and having a solid PCD instead of a coating.
Okay.
Is that coating, the diamond coating has a different CTE than tungsten carbide.
Okay.
If you try to coat it and they expand at different rates, then it's more likely to expand and flake off, delaminate.
Yeah, sure.
So with solid PCD, or even comparable PCD tools.
Will you see meaningful diameter wear then on this tool?
I haven't ran these tools in application that's long enough to see appreciable wear.
Yeah. So it switched tools and it is now drilling. Actually, is it drilling or like a boring? It's just drilling. Straight and deep. Okay. Drilling. That's incredible.
But you don't want to use like cooling because it's kind of like CBN. You could thermal shock it.
Okay. And then this is a thread mill? It's incredible.
Sorry.
Oh, David. Yeah, sure. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is awesome. When we were here last night for the Tool of the Year competition, I had the chance to speak to somebody from a pretty cool household name company talking about the idea of using these to manufacture tools in-house that allow them to cut gears that would otherwise take 15, 20 weeks lead time, and that just doesn't work when you need to modify something and manufacture something within, say, 1 week. So I think that's really cool because it's not just, say, tool cutting conglomerates that are buying these to grind end mills. It's a more innovative, rapid development and application use of this style machine, which they really are just beautiful. That's really cool. That's actually what I wanted to see. I believe this was the winner of the virtual competition. So they actually like cam simulated wheel patching or grinding wheels making this hummingbird, which really is remarkable. I finally found him. So seriously, you've been a big influence on me. We've referenced you numerous times. We love seeing the tour. I still need to come out to Idaho to see the index and everything you've got going on there. But
Absolutely.
It's Scott Harms, Metalquest, your number 2 guy, right?
Yeah, this is Scott Bolt with Metalquest.
Yep. Who you were single-handedly behind a lot of the technology side of what's going on at Metalquest, right?
Well, it's a team effort. But
it's really impressive.
Yeah.
MS40-8.
That's
the same index that we have now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was
no. We had a 40-8. So yes,
congratulations.
During this show, we got a second index, and obviously it wasn't a spontaneous decision. It's been in the making. But regardless, we're very, very, very excited.
So I've said this a bunch, like on the podcast, but find people that you can bounce ideas off of. And I didn't really plan this, but there have been a few times where Scott and I have probably talked for 90 minutes on the phone about stuff. And I will betray your confidence by saying that you were like, I am really nervous about this idea, John, of taking on a second index.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you clearly got.
We got some customer commitments.
Yeah.
Right now, our current index is booked 2 shifts a day, 7 days a week, which we've been keeping running all the way until May of next year. We have zero ability of expanding in terms of capacity, and we keep getting customer demand.
We already got another opportunity, like yesterday, another customer to fill that machine up. Pretty much, when we get almost full that full time.
Good for you.
Thank you. And we've always been about the blue ocean strategy. Going in directions that not everybody else is. And this is something we feel that truly we bring a competitive advantage. It's a differentiator for us as a company.
Yeah. Well, I guess, so here's a dumb question is, are there other, I don't know if you still call yourself a job shop or not, because you're a contract volume manufacturer, right? But, I mean, are there others out there in the U.S. that own MS40s?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, there are other job shops, similar to ours. Typically higher precision, higher volume type.
Yeah.
Products and different things like that. That's what they specialize in. But it brings a competitive advantage, and that's what we're all about.
Well, you're talking about shops, you can count on the number on your hands. How many other shops.
Okay. Instead of tens of thousands, it's tens.
Yeah. So, you're competing with a much smaller subset of people at that point.
But I would argue the people that you're competing with know what they're doing.
Correct.
So you got to be sharp.
I mean, and there's enough work to go around. You're not really competing with anybody. I mean, there's more demand than there is supply in that point.
Yeah, and the overseas outsourcing and stuff like that, just the whole global push is not working. It's coming back in.
It's coming back in big time.
There's not enough places to put it. And it's like so many companies we're running into, they can't get parts, and it's like they need solutions.
I don't know how you have this much energy on day
I don't either.
3 or 4 of
I'm
IMTS.
telling you, I got 4.5 hours of sleep last night on top of it. I don't know how I have that much energy. I'm gonna sleep good this weekend.
Anything else in the show that congratulations, you guys are like the celebrities of the show. I see your face
so much.
around the place.
So in Okuma Horizontal, we got to give Okuma some love as well, and we'll probably bring home a couple Fanic robots as well. And this isn't just a buying spree. This is stuff all been orchestrated.
Yeah.
A lot of this, actually, we went to our customers quite literally, and we said, listen, we're going to be at IMTS. We need commitments out of you.
Oh, interesting.
Seriously, I mean, we had 2 separate conversations this week with our customers.
On the phone with 2 different customers.
It's like, we need commitments this week, because we are at the place we need to start laying this stuff out. And we got the commitments, and they had the belief and the trust in us.
Yeah.
So we're turning around and we're providing that on.
But I love that point because it sort of speaks to this idea that these relationships aren't one-way streets. Customers don't just buy from you. You've got to say, hey, we're going to be able to allocate you so much spindle time or machine time, so you need to speak up. We'd love to do more work for you, but you got to help us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is an absolute relationship.
On the phone, it's like, okay, I told him we're going to IMTS and we're looking at equipment to help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're at IMTS calling up, okay, are we getting that purchase order so we can move ahead?
Yeah.
And then we get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have an open dialogue and a trusting relationship. I mean, it's a partnership. That's what we always preach.
Yeah.
We don't want a customer-supplier relationship. It needs to be an actual partnership.
Yeah.
You can do some really good things.
Awesome. As always, great seeing you, Scott. Seriously, I look forward to coming out to Idaho.
Absolutely.
Seriously. Scott, likewise. Yeah, great. All right, wrapping things up. I wanted to swing by, say hi to Tyler at Matsuura. How you been? Good.
Great.
How's the show been?
It's awesome. It's so good to be back. I'm sure you hear that all week.
Your voice sounds fresh.
And that's what happens here.
Right. Well, I'll save you talking too much. Can you show us what you guys got? What's new?
I'll be all right. We'll struggle through it. So the newest is, actually, long story long, our newest is now, we've got the 70B finally. We were trying to show this at 2018 IMTS.
Yeah.
It was just a little delayed, so we figured, hey, why not bring that? You got a 52V.
But here's what's fun. The first time I met you was in Selway, in California, and awesome show. And you guys, I mean, this. Can we show this machine?
That was the 100H actually.
Oh, good memory. I'm sorry. I thought that's what this was. It's an impressive machine. The size of it.
Everybody thinks small with Matsuura, but we actually make some pretty big machines.
Yeah.
You saw the machine you're talking
100,
about,
okay.
100H, which is a meter machine. But this is the next size down to that. So.
5 axis, but H for horizontal.
Yeah. And this one, the accessibility is great, right? We always talk about that. Open the door. It's got a PC trunnion configuration, so you can step right in.
Yeah, you can literally come right in here, and my feet are at the ground. Yeah.
So some really some nice commonality. We finally, like, throughout our platforms, we've been slowly updating and getting everything really freshened up. So we have all the same controls now. Our palette management software is a little bit updated.
Yeah.
We've been doing it so long, we really don't have to change a whole lot anymore. It's just really updating with the technology.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure the other buzzword in the industry is, the data collection and, these are big expensive machines. You got to get a return on it. So, making sure the spindle's always running.
It's the whole thing I love about the 72, the MAM, so forth, is this idea of 30 years ago, and it was like, hey, let's build a machine that can run for 72 hours unattended. So automation's been a buzzword for a long time. Meaning the past 4 or 5, 6 years, but like, no, man, it's the core of you guys.
Yeah, it's who we are, right? And I was having a great conversation earlier. It's like, I love seeing all the other machine builders now adapting to that and building those machines. We need it. Our industry needs it, right? And there's plenty of room here for it. But that's really who we are. You look at what we bring and what we have here. It's all pallet pool 5 axis.
Yeah.
The why that man became created too was the Japanese government. It was like the late 80s, early 90s. They used to work 7 days a week. The quality of life.
Serious?
Was really poor.
Oh wow.
So the government stepped in and said, no, we got to do something here. So they mandated a 5-day work week. So that's where it was really a solution-based machine.
Interesting.
Hey, we got to have this thing set up midday, Friday.
Yeah.
Run through the weekend with nobody there. Come in Monday and it's still running.
Interesting.
So that's kind of a little history of why.
Yeah.
With the pandemic, that kind of did a lot.
No,
of
for
that,
sure.
Right? Everybody really got time to sit and think, what are we doing and why?
Yeah.
So it's been. Sometimes it's tough. You get those situations like that, but how it stems into
it's funny what adversity drives, I guess. Well, I'll try to save you the voice. This is an MX330 with some cool new. The looks matter. Some cool new sheet metal, all that, but same machine, but just clarifying what the envelope is.
Yep, exactly. So on the 330 before with the BC10, you could get that. The work drum on the right, you can get that in through the operator door, but we really wanted to have a very small footprint machine. So we've got other 5-axis machines that, standalone, that you could fit a 330 PC10 in the same footprint, have 90 tools and 10 pallets. So it's a huge selling point for us.
Yeah.
People starting out with maybe one of our machines or another's, that they got to learn 5-axis, and then they have the need or demand of the palletization. So 420. You get the full max size work drum that'll go through. We've got the nice, you can see both differences there. And all they had to do was scale up the pallet changer.
Sorry, what is the difference between the left and the right? Obviously, I see their size difference, but.
This is the 330 PC10 size, and this is the 420.
Oh, so this is the new. Okay, got it. Okay, but it's before and after, if you will.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're still bringing both in, because again, there's kind of a need for both. But this fills a nice little slot for us.
Interesting. Cool.
So a little sneak peek too I'll give you. So if you look at our lineup, we'll have like a MX330 PC10, and then that has our same pallet as the MAM 7235B. So kind of a graduation machine.
Yeah.
Right. Now we have the MX520 PC4 pairs up with the MAM 7252B.
Okay.
So you can imagine in the future what may be coming.
I'm with you. Okay, got it. And are the MAMs, I feel like, are so, they've been around so long. Is there anything noteworthy on changing, or is it just more, hey, this is the MAM? Oh, that's awesome. Turning that. Vincent Black Shadow cylinder head?
Yeah, so got a buddy in Minnesota that had the land speed world record.
That's awesome.
And he's this old dude, Steve Hermle. He's a great dude. He got beat, and he found out I worked at Matsuura when I was an apps guy, and he pulled me aside at a bike show when I was living back in Minnesota, and he says, I got an idea, and I think you can make it.
No kidding.
It took a while. We've had some help. Joe Martin, he used to work for Kiriakin. He kind of helped with the modeling and design of it. They 3D printed one. He's bench flow tested it.
Really?
And we're to this point.
Is this gonna
eventually? Not this one, but we're getting close. It's tough.
That's cool.
I wish we always, we do a really great job of our demos, but man, it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of work. Oh yeah.
Like, that's why I always have the highest respect for Matthias over at Hermle.
Yeah.
He does some crazy stuff, but
have you seen Sep?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And I love the finishes he does. It takes a lot of work. To program and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Mike and Leo, they bust their ass. We're supporting a whole country of machines and distributors. So this is the fun for us. And
well, I like it because it lets you shine. We're all people. Like we like working on projects that mean something that you can show that lets you. I know you're a big motorcycle guy. Like it's really cool. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you save your voice. Great seeing you. Thanks for the show around. Well, folks, that is a wrap. 3 full days here. It's actually been great. I've gotten to see everything I wanted to see, talk to folks, see so many people. I'm going to wrap this up on a personal note, which is thank you. I really do love what I get to do, and I realize I want to make these videos for everyone who wants to be learned, inspired, all that stuff, really, but also the folks that don't have a chance to come and see the technology here, see the machines and all that. So I hope this video has been helpful. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I love that I get to do what I do. Seriously, thank you guys all for watching. Otherwise, take care. See you soon.